It's so good to be on summer break.
Sam, what are you doing? We've got one more show till summer break. It's prime time.
Welcome to the National Havoc Robot League's 2025 Open World Championship. It's our 5th round of the season, and the fights all day have been back-to-back bangers. Taking a look at our 3-pound weight class, last month's champion Jelly Baby is taking on the Wall Part 2. In our 12-pound bracket, we have Carmen versus Buzzkill. But all eyes are in this cage right here. We're loaded up. We have the reigning world champ Megatron and Havoc All-Star Phenomena. Let's lock it and rock it. All right, Ricky and Adam at the booth, take it away.
Thanks so much, Sam. My name's Ricky Willems. This is Adam Wrigley. We're here for the June NHRL qualifying event. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into the box for this 30-pound matchup. Here's our first fight right now. Starting with Jameson Go. Bringing with him today the legendary robot, Megatron. He'll be facing off against
Brandon Bennett Young out of Bowie, Maryland, representing Bone Dead Robotics with his robot, Phenomenon.
We're gonna jump right into the cage. These are two fierce competitors. They've seen each other. They've faced each other down time and time again. We like to say here that Jameson Go is a bit of a white whale for builder Brandon Bennett Young. They've faced each other down, they've traded blows, and you know Brandon is hungry to unseat what is sometimes considered the king of the 30-pound class in Jameson Go.
This is going to be a fight for the ages. Two tremendous competitors. Of course, Jameson Go coming into this fight, the reigning world champ, as we've been talking about, and Brandon looking for a chance to dethrone him tonight, right? I mean, like...
Absolutely. That is exactly his mission. Brandon is a singularly focused man. He comes into these fights well-read, well-studied, feeling strategic and focused. He is going to do his best to take down Megatron. No doubt about it.
I think, you know, this could be sort of a championship fight in disguise here. Two of the best robots tonight going off right out of the gate.
Yeah, it is amazing how stacked the cage is right now. So much talent in one place. Of course, this is quite a matchup of robots. We've got a vertical spinner in the sense of Brandon Bennett Young's robot going up against probably the most feared hammer saw in the 30-pound class of all time in Megatron.
Probably the most feared hammer saw in the world. I don't know if you have a more fearsome hammer saw.
It's a great point, and right perhaps the most fearsome 30-pounder. You could look at you could cut this any 6 ways.
3, 2, 1, fight! Robots fight!
Way to go right off the bat. Both robots with a cautious start.
Megatron winning the ground game right off the bat there.
Both robots very cautious, but Phenomenon getting bullied into the wall. Jameson.
Ooh. Jameson getting what he wants early out of this fight. Brandon probably a little bit nervous here, getting pushed around.
You could see those sparks just a moment ago coming off of the front of Megatron. Phenomenon only needs a few of those engagements before they win a damage fight and start hurting the front of Megatron.
You can see Megatron has sort of a comb wedge at the front here. It is working really well against the forks of Phenomenon. Megatron taking a chunk out of the wall there as it drives around with this weapon up to speed.
Yeah, we don't usually see this out of Jameson, but a new weapon design lets him keep that weapon up to speed and still drive just at 10/10ths all the time.
You usually see him spin that up right before the hit. Not needing to do that is going to give him a little bit more time. It's just going to be so much quicker with engagement when he gets that chance. Ooh.
No major blows yet, but both robots are being extremely cautious.
Drivers battle as we near the halfway point of this fight.
This fight has been all driving so far. Neither one giving up an inch, and something has gone wrong with Phenomenon.
Stuck on debris. Megatron, Jameson Go taking advantage.
Oh, those are massive hits. Pieces are being shredded off of Phenomenon.
Oh, big hit right back on Megatron.
This is still anyone's fight. Megatron is now suffering. Its right-hand drive has been damaged.
That's all it takes is one hit from Phenomenon to do massive damage. It survived those blows early. Can it take advantage with 1 minute left?
Please don't be fooled. Megatron is every bit as dangerous, even if they are hobbled. One false move from Brandon Bennett-Young, and this match is over.
You can see the tread jammed up on the right side, severely hampering their movement right now. Jameson Go, one of the best drivers in the game, still able to keep the front pointed at Brandon and Phenomenon.
Another glancing blow, but that's what Brandon wants right now. Careful, calculated strikes to win those damage points with the judges if this goes the full 3 minutes.
Both drivers are dialed in here. 30 seconds left. It looks like we're going to the judges. Who can leave that final mark?
Oh, almost a critical misstep from Brandon.
Brandon sort of wheeling up there. He's got to be careful. 15 seconds to go. As Megatron, you can see here on the zoom in, just stuck on that right side tread.
There's the hit. That's the hit. Brandon needs to strike now with 5 seconds remaining. Can he capitalize? The time will run out.
Oh, Megatron has got to be breathing a sigh of relief, making it to Bell in one piece.
Absolute skin of Megatron's teeth. Jameson Go must just be sitting in panic.
Everyone remember to breathe at this point after the fight. Wow.
That was a nail biter, Adam.
I am glad I'm not a judge. That was just a treat for the eyes in terms of driving. Both drivers just dancing around the arena. A couple big hits going each way, and it looked like, at the end of the fight, Saul Blaze has a little bit more damage. Right side drive is down. Will that be the difference?
Yeah, you can't forget, though, most of those pieces strewn across the arena belong to Phenomenon. That's going to count, too. Maybe not as much as a damaged drive side, but it's definitely going to count.
Did not escape unscathed. Two robots at the top of their game. Let's take a look at the replays here. Early on, all Megatron. Great hit here after it took advantage of some driving mishaps.
You can look here, look at the additional armor that Phenomenon has added to the top of the robot for exactly those kind of blows.
And it was able to take the hit enough to keep them going, but right on this engagement, you can see Brandon gets this hit, and afterwards the tread is jammed. Didn't take much to do that.
All it took. Now that last moment is perhaps, if this match goes to Jameson Go, that will have been Brandon's major mistake, not being able to capitalize on that last moment.
Brandon got stuck on a piece of debris for a split second, and that was all it took for Jameson Go to dive in.
We are going to go to Richard. He is up in the pits, I believe. Let's see what he has to say.
Well, guys, welcome once again to the primetime pits, the proverbial beehive of NHRL. And speaking of which, there's a couple of honeycrack teams behind me. But, man, all eyes were glued to the screen for that one, the return of Jameson Go and the collective O's that cascaded throughout this area. The intensity is high, the electricity is in the air, and, of course, the competition is stacked. So we've got a great primetime lined up for you. Let's send it back down to you guys.
Thanks so much. I also want to see what happened with the damage in this arena. There were a couple massive hits from those spinners, both on the walls and on the floor. Of course, our arena staff They're very talented, if very busy.
One of those fights where the robots are doing more damage to the arena than they were to each other. Of course, the arena doesn't tend to drive as well as the opponents when it's in there.
It just sits there, waits for it, really.
It's asking for it.
Oh, man, what a shot of the primetime pits. You can see our competitors dialed in, preparing for their fights. Lots of work to do. These pits are divvied up. Yeah, oh, look, they're all happy to see you here today. These pits are divvied up as 3 pounds, 12 pounds, and 30 pounds. Basically, each column a different weight class. And as weight classes congregate downstairs, you'll see certain rows of benches clear out while others are still in their repair windows.
Of course, 30-pounders down here with us in the arena, so you'll see that area. You see Brandon heading back to his table there after that fight.
We're going to go to Cage 1. We have another great fight for you. We have Red Storm going up against Termigator. We're going to go to Sam. Sam, take it away.
All right, as we wait for the judge's decision from that first match, I couldn't help but notice the drivers themselves during it. Jamison Go seeming a touch nervous, while Brandon Bennett Young stoic and calm the entire fight. Is that an indicator of what these judges might have seen? We're just gonna have to find out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fight. Robots
Away
fight.
we go. Red Storm off to a very fast and aggressive start, as always.
Termigator right back with the big hits. Red Storm, one of the fastest robots in the competition. Termigator, 1/3 of the weight is in that weapon.
Wow! Termigator is fearsome, can do tremendous damage, and Kevin Milcheski, oh my goodness! Woo! Kevin shows no fear. He's ramming Red Storm into Termigator non-stop. That robot is no longer moving.
Oh, I do see the treads, at least one of the treads spinning on Termigator. They're going to request an unstick here.
And as Kevin often does, he's going to do his best to block the house robot from unsticking his opponent.
Now, Kevin does have enough power in there to flip the house robot if he wants. He might be trying to. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all. That's a 300-pound block of steel.
Termigator just, flipping back over, but can they move? They've got one side of drive left.
Yeah, right-hand drive suffering severely, but that weapon is still way up to speed.
Termigator is a fairly new robot. It has insane power, but they're working through some of the kinks. Oh, look
Massive
at that
hit.
power.
The weapon on Red Storm is so compliant. It can take those big hits so well. Very few builders are brave enough to ram their weapon directly into the front of Termigator like that.
Still works as Kevin able to self right after the hit. Termigator, however, is spinning in circles.
Look at that. Red Storm wants to do this. They want to take their opponent, ram their opponent's weapon into the wall, and get them to break themselves.
Ooh, that is not a great position for Termigator. Even if both treads were working, they are getting counted out. This is going to be it.
Knockout.
A fantastic fight. Excellent driving from Kevin Milcheski. It's got to make the travel out from Seattle feel all the more worth it.
Brooks Silber and Gator Robotics at Termigator heading home to Melbourne.
I think it's hard.
You can see even Kevin surprised at how hard Termigator hits. And with that win, Red Storm has just qualified for the World Championships. That has got to feel good.
Kevin and Red Storm later this year in December.
Beautiful.
Let's
Take
go
a
into
look at these replays.
Yeah, let's do it.
So much aggression out of Red Storm.
I gotta say, that weapon on Termigator is a great example of the best defense is a strong offense.
It's so brutal. I mean, it's coming out of the box looking no worse for wear. You could see, you know, the bent up forks on Red Storm, wheels going flying, but at the end of the day, Termigator wasn't working and stuck upside down, and Red Storm could still drive, and that's what matters.
Fantastic work. I can't wait to see how well Kevin can repair that robot and how he's going to look coming into the next fight. That's going to be the key.
Red Storm is always a joy to see. Great to see they'll be back in the championship. Every time we see Termigator, it gets better. Excited to see them in the future, but they haven't qualified yet for the championship.
All right, give it time. I'm being told we have a judge's decision coming in from the first fight. We're going to go to Richard. Richard, what can you tell us?
All right, guys, like you said, exciting news. We have collectively held our breath since the first fight of primetime for the judge's decision, which has just come in. And so we're going to wait here. And here it is. The winner is Megatron. Wow. Unanimous decision for Jameson Ghostbot Megatron. I can hear the reactions behind me. We'll try and get more from these guys as the night goes on, but wow, I don't know if you were expecting that, but clearly there's a mixed reaction up here. We'll send it back to you guys.
That was absolutely going to be a close decision no matter what. I will say I'm a little surprised, but it's close enough.
Yeah, it's surprising the numbers are close. I have to guess that Megatron would have lost damage there with that tread being unable to move, but I suppose the control, the aggression that they showed throughout the fight was enough to overcome that.
Yeah, it was very close again, so I do not envy the judges on that one. But, as we say here, if you want to win and you want to be sure about it, do not let it go to the judges.
That's the only way to be sure.
We got a lot more fights coming through. We are going to continue in the 30-pound class for a little while yet. We've got some cage repairs going on.
Quite a lot of kinetic energy in that last fight, bouncing around Termigator. 10 pounds of their 30-pound weight budget is in the drum.
And it's not like it's a slow-moving drum. That's a lot of kinetic energy, a lot of damage potential. Of course, our cages are designed to handle this. They'll take the hits all day long, but it doesn't mean we don't have to repair them in between fights. We're going to head back upstairs. I think we got some more information from Richard after that last fight.
Yeah, guys, not just information. I'm here with Jameson Go. Hey, mixed reaction. I mean, congratulations, but what was your reaction?
Thank you. Oh, man, it's hard to say. Hard to definitively know if that was a win or not. I definitely saw the judges' scores. I thought it'd actually be a lot closer. It was a dicey match. When the tread got jammed, I was like, mobility is the key to my machine's victory. And if I can't do that, it's going to be really, really tough from here on out.
Is there a moment where you feel that the judges got it right as far as your victory was definitive in your mind?
Well, as far as deliberate, intentional hits, we definitely got that one solid one, sort of kind of mid-match. But near the end, when I was self-riding in the corner, Brandon also got a very definitive, solid hit. And so depending on how you want to weigh those, they could be equal in terms of like aggression and control. That's why it was so difficult to say, it could go either way. If Brandon won, I would have been okay with that too.
Well, it's hard to think of a Jameson Gobot with an early primetime exit. So you're moving on to the next round. Congratulations again. Good luck in the next one. We'll go ahead and send it back to the desk, guys.
Thank you so much, Richard. I love those post-fight interviews. You really get a sense for the builders, what they're feeling, what they went through, and what they're looking forward to next.
Yeah, and everyone acknowledges what a close fight that was, a real toss-up, and not an easy task to judge that.
Well, it's time to meet our next competitors. Let's get right into it. First up, Professor Wasp. Take a look. This is brought to you from Josh Adriano from Lincoln, California. They're going to be facing up against
Jacob Painter from Urban, Illinois with their robot, Kill Switch.
We're going to jump right back into Cage 1. This is going to be a fun fight. Professor Wasp really surprising a lot of people today. This is a new entry. This is a fresh robot making a meteoric rise here today.
2, 1, fight.
Let's see if they can keep it going. Ooh, big punch right to the face from Kill Switch. The weapon on Professor Wasp is not up to speed.
Kill Switch really having their way here with Professor Wasp just unable to do anything right now against that weapon, tearing off the entire side pen.
This is a tremendous amount of damage. Each one of these little hits just beating the ever-loving snot out of Professor Wasp. They're calling for an unstick right away, and you know what? Killswitch says, buzz off! Flo, I don't need any of your interruption.
I can give him an unstick.
Don't tell me not to play with my food.
Oh! The crowd reacting to these big hits as Professor Wasp goes bouncing off the glass.
Yeah, Killswitch delivering a punishment on Professor Wasp.
Oh, weapon on Killswitch here, spinning down a little bit. Ah, there we go, back up to speed.
You can see Driver, a lot of intensity here. That is not where they want to be, but the weapon is now working on Professor Wasp again. They're spinning up fast.
Killswitch is gonna back off here. No more unsticks are available, but Professor Wasp is showing a little bit of movement.
Yeah, just enough not to get counted out, but I don't know. This is right on the edge.
Oh!
Big weapon-to-weapon engagements.
Professor Wasp.
Wow, look at that! More pieces went flying. That weapon is toast on Professor Wasp.
Killswitch is just waiting for all the right moments to come in. Another pin. So many big hits. You can hear the crowd counting the pins down. And they back off. And this might be a knockout, as I don't think Professor Wasp is able to move at all.
With one wheel, no weapon, and a ram in the corner. That is your fight, Robot fans.
Well-earned knockout.
Still, what a journey to get here for Josh and Professor Wasp. There's no sadness cage side, but Jacob Painter with Killswitch put on an absolute clinic.
Killswitch with that victory is going to make it into the semifinals tonight and also punch their ticket to the World Championships in December.
We're going to jump right into the replay, see some of that action and violence all over again. Right off the bat, Killswitch is winning these engagements, sending their opponent and bits and pieces of the robot flying around the arena. They never let up. Pieces started flying. Professor Wasp was on their heels, and Killswitch stayed aggressive. They stayed strategic, and the damage just kept coming. And finally, they got their robot opponent into a corner, did a wonderful bit of controlling, pinning, and then pushing their opponent into a corner from which it could not escape, making their victory not only assured, but like indomitably, unquestionably dominant.
Pure domination, end to end, just as you said. That's every robot builder and driver's dream fight.
We're going to head to Sam. He's going to guide us through and tell us what's coming up next.
All right. There is nothing like the 30-pounders when it comes to collecting bot parts. We've got a bunch of bot part fans here. They want pieces, and our 30s are delivering. We got a few more coming up, and just so many more tonight. The 30s are great, the 12s are great, and so are the 3s.
You can see we got to get these robots safely out of the arena. They're on their way, and then we got to inspect the arena, make sure it's safe to continue, get our nice arena maintenance crew in to make it nice and pretty for the next fight. Look at this wonderful crowd. They're pumped, they're happy to be here. People of all ages. You see these enterprising young folks looking for souvenirs or perhaps eBay memorabilia if they're particularly a hustler.
Yeah, all the fans in the stands asking for parts are tomorrow's builders and drivers, sometimes today's builders and drivers. Let's send it up to Richard. I hear he's got some news for us up there.
That's right, guys. We are getting ready for the 3-pound weight class, and the person with me right now is somebody who hasn't lost in the last 2 events, looking to make history tonight. It's Paige of Jelly Baby. Hey, when you and I talked Friday, you said that basically you came back to make history. You wanted a second golden dumpster to be the first one to ever do that with a control bot. Where's your confidence right now in prime time?
I wish I did not have to fight the wall, but back to back, back to back, back to back.
Oh, I mean, certainly confidence is high up here. So what modifications are you making right now in preparation for your fight?
Oh, this isn't for the wall. This is for the fight after the wall.
Oh, wow.
This is for the wall. This.
She keeps it simple, and I love that about you. So what would a second dumpster mean to you if you're able to accomplish that tonight?
It would mean I would paint a giant target on my back, and everybody would have a Jelly Baby config, counter config. And it would mean that I'd be, I think, please fact check me, I think I would be the first control bot in the 3-pound with 2 dumpsters.
Wow. She just keeps winning and winning and winning. Will it continue all the way to a second dumpster? Only time will tell. We're getting ready for 3-pound action, though. Ricky, Adam, back to you guys.
Hey, thank you so much. We're actually going to jump into cage 1. We have one more 30-pound matchup for you before we move on to the next weight class. Tonight we have Overlord from Justin Dew taking on Undertaker from Jillian Doolittle. The competitors looking locked in, looking focused. Who's your money on in this one, Adam?
2 big hitters here. You know, Undertaker, you know, by the records, by the ranking coming into today, would have to be the favorite. But I think Overlord here could score the upset.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go. Wow! Wow, big hits.
Both robots still fully up to speed as the kinetic energy is insane in the box.
A triple flip. There is so much energy in these robots. Anything could happen. There's a big hit. And smoke has started to erupt from Undertaker and from Overlord. Both of these robots.
Undertaker's weapon looks like it is completely dented in after that hit. What a massive hit as Overlord is requesting an unstick.
Yeah, the left-hand drive on Overlord took some massive damage. The right hand, not much better. Look, the entire chassis has been bent up.
Both robots barely able to move after this. They're both bent. They're both having drive issues. You can see Overlord has lost the left-hand side.
Undertaker being very cautious. Their weapon isn't spinning, but they seem to be able to drive.
Look at the chunks shaking out of these weapons. Undertaker and Overlord just shoving each other slowly around the arena.
Now, the geometry here of Undertaker is going to favor them. They're going to be much more effective at pushing their opponent around. Plus a better functioning drive system. This should be Undertaker's game to win. They need to show control. They need to show aggression since damage is mostly out of the question at this point.
Yeah, you can see the belts on Overlord are all sorts of wrong positions. Smoke still coming out of Undertaker.
Now that is one unhappy motor and perhaps the electronics that drive it.
Now the pins here can only be held for 10 seconds. You have to release. You can see Undertaker backing off, and Overlord now seems to be stuck, and they're getting counted out.
They've already used their unstick. This is gonna be it for Overlord. Your winner, Undertaker from Jillian Doolittle.
A little bit of a commentator's curse on that one. My bad.
It does happen. It happens to the best of them, Adam. We won't hold it against you. Overlord is stuck in that corner. No, it's making its way out very slowly.
Always painful when you're able to make your way out after the count out is over.
Yeah, you got to do it within that 10 seconds.
Massive, massive hits in that fight. Both robots able to maintain function until that one last one. Let's take a look at the replays here.
Some big hits right off the bat.
Overlord getting the worst of most of these engagements. Geometry just not able to cope.
They're not in their favor. There was a big, big hit that sent Overlord on its heels, but it's this last hit, that one right there. Both parties taking massive damage.
You can see the disc immediately come to a stop.
Yes, it immediately locked up. Something major happened inside of both of those robots. That is a lot of damage. You can see our housebot Flo getting these robots lined up, ready at cage side, ready for the referees and the cage side managers to safely pull them out of the building. Ooh. They were smoking, so they're going to be escorted out very quickly and dealt with in a way that is cognizant of the fact that smoke is incredibly toxic and needs to not be read by people. Let's take a look at the crowd we have today. It's a great group.
Yeah, that's going to do it for the 30-pounder class for the quarterfinals. And let's check in with Sam.
Let's do it.
All right, like Adam just said, this is going to do it for the first round of 30s. And from here, we are moving down to the 3-pound weight class. So we're transitioning to our smaller cage right over here. And we're going to see robots that are high-flying. They're fast. They can take these hits all day. And I can't wait to see Jelly Baby going in here. I can't wait to see the Wall Part 2 going in here. I can't wait to see Anubis, Monkfish. We've got some amazing fights coming up in the 3-pound class, and they're all happening right here.
Thank you for that, Sam. I am pumped to see some of these fights. We can't say it enough. This is a stacked house today. So much talent, such impressive robots.
The 3-pound class was enormous when we started this morning, and we're down to the best of the best. 8 robots left. Let's take a look at the bracket and see how this is all shaking down.
Well, we've got Anubis going up against Monkfish. That's going to be a heck of a that's going to be a heck of a matchup. Monkfish has been just hitting so hard today. And again, as we checked in the pits, Jelly Baby going up against the Wall Part 2. That's going to be an incredible match.
But let's meet our first competitors here. First up is Anthony Pereira out of Rochester, New York, and his robot, Anubis. And he will be meeting
Rachel de Guzman and her absolute terror of a 3-pound robot, Monkfish. Monkfish and Anubis are going to be facing off in Cage 2. Monkfish is a shuffler robot. It does not have wheels, but what it does have is a massive undercutter spinning blade. Anubis, a more traditionally driven robot with a vertical spinner up front. They're going to try and chuck Monkfish right up into the roof.
And the reason why you're going to want to put shufflers on your robot is that we'll give you a 50% weight bonus if you do that, meaning Monkfish weighs 4.5 pounds going against the 3-pound Anubis.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots.
Away we go. Wow, incredibly fast start from Anubis.
Doesn't have the weight, but it does have the speed.
It also has the geometry. You'll see Monkfish is going flying with these exchanges, and Anubis is staying safely planted on the ground. That's only possible with precision driving.
Anubis having some driving issues there. Monkfish taking advantage, putting them on their head.
Yeah, taking a bit of time to recover. You have to be very quick when facing up against a robot like Monkfish.
Anubis is having some issues here, and Monkfish is taking advantage. It might be a shuffler, but it is still quite speedy and maneuverable.
Yeah, if you look closely, Adam, the front wedge on Anubis is already bent up severely. that's going to hamper their movement.
Yeah, you can see them pivoting around that wedge corner every time they try to drive forward.
Wow, another big hit. This is one of those points where you wonder, should I really have used the wedge? If you're going to put a wedge on the front of your... There it is! Half of it's gone!
But not the half they wanted gone. They're still high-centered on the piece that's left.
Don't worry, the rest of it's gone now too, Adam! And it doesn't seem to be helping. They're caught up. They're driving a little bit.
Something else is wrong now. Anubis is having some problems. Monkfish is aggressive as always. We are halfway through this fight. I don't know if we're going to make it to the end.
Rachel is so precise with some of these hits and yet so aggressive at the same time. It's very controlled chaos, but chaos nonetheless. Anubis sticking with it. They are not giving up. They're still driving. In fact, they seem to move pretty darn well when they're upside down.
The weapon might be driving around at that point. I'm not sure. Oof. Something is damaged on Anubis and dragging on the ground. I have to imagine. 53 seconds left.
We have no more movement from Anubis. Yes, that is a tap out. Your winner, Rachel DeGuzman, walking home with a relatively easy win for Monkfish. They're advancing in the bracket.
Smiles on Rachel's face, disappointment on Anthony's as he looks on at his robot unable to continue. Great fight from both competitors here.
Monkfish is going to have an interesting journey ahead of it. But first, let's go to the replay. You can see Anubis got some great hits right off the bat.
Right out of the gate, you had to think Anubis had this fight in the bag, but Monkfish came back with a vengeance.
It just got worn down. Anubis couldn't hang. They kept taking hits, and those hits added up, and eventually their robot was too much the worse for wear and started taking massive damage.
Yeah, once that wedge corner was down, they lost their maneuverability advantage, and they couldn't come back.
Even after that wedge was torn completely off of the front of the robot, it was still not enough. Too much damage had been done, and that was the end.
Problem after problem for Anubis, but they'll take that weakness out of the robot now that they know it's there. So Rachel's going to head back to the pits and prepare for the next round. And of course,
one builder's sadness is another builder's victory. Rachel looked pretty darn pleased there.
You have to think so. Making the semifinals tonight in the 3-pound class is tremendous. We started with, well, how many robots did we start with tonight in 3 pounds?
Oh, we had 144, I believe.
144, that's insane.
Absolutely crazy. We have a lot of new robots coming up in just a minute, but first, let's go to Havoc 101. If you're new to us or just joining us for the first time in a while, here's how it works. Here at NHRL, we have 3 weight classes, 3-pound, 12-pound, and the big boys, 30-pound robots. These are 3-minute fights, and of course the goal, destroy your opponent. You can win by a tap out, a knockout, or if it goes the full 3 minutes, a judge's decision. Each robot gets 1 unstick per fight, where our housebot can come in and free them if they get stuck in the arena. The top 4 robots today will qualify for the World Championships at the end of the year, head home with a fat stack of cash and the coveted Golden Dumpster.
Yes.
Let's go to Sam. He's going to take us into the next fight or into the crowd.
All right. That was the first 3-pound match, and it was hard hitting. It was everything you'd want in a 3-pound fight. We got 3 more coming up in this round, and I can't wait to see Jelly Baby versus the Wall Part 2. So you're just going to have to stay tuned to Cage 2 for some more 3-pound action.
We're going to jump right into Cage 2. Just as Sam said, the Wall going up against Jelly Baby. They're going to be fighting for the honor of fighting Monkfish, who just won the last fight. Both of these robots have been on a killing spree.
Jelly Baby, of course, won the 3-pound class last month in May, looking to go back-to-back here tonight. She'll have to win this fight against the Wall to start that attempt.
Now, the wall is an opponent that Paige did not want to face down. Let's see if that fear was warranted.
Fight, robots,
Away
fight.
we go. Interesting, right off the bat, Jelly Baby shrugging off a hit from the wall, part 2.
Jelly Baby known for this smothering control style. Pin after pin after
the robots
pin.
caught together. Look
Wow.
at this.
It looks like the weapon has gone completely through the flipper arm of Jelly Baby.
Yeah, it's
See it
stuck in
piercing
there.
through on the bottom.
They're going to do their best to free each other, but this may be a yes, look, it's pierced entirely through.
Don't often see that. And we'll probably get a separation here. They're going to open the door most likely with the technical crowbar.
Yeah, it does not look like these two are going to free themselves organically, shall we say.
They are trying.
The match has been paused. The referees and the cage managers are going to step in and pry these two robots apart with our highly calibrated and extremely precise technical crowbar. The match clock, of course, is paused while this happens. We'll pick right back up where we left off in a moment.
We make sure to send the crowbar out to Switzerland to get it calibrated before each tournament. Very important.
Yeah, there's a team of Switchdeutsch men and women and just technicians of all types working tirelessly to give us the best in crowbar and, in fact, barbecue tong technology.
Yes. Now, the tongs are actually shipped to Japan to be calibrated.
Oh, they're Mitutoyo tongs, I believe. Yeah. Wow, they are in there.
Really stuck. Now, this is, of course, a TPU 3D printed fork on Jelly Baby, as is much of the chassis. It's very sticky stuff, and you can see it's completely wrapped around the weapon, just engulfing that tooth. Perfect shot from the wall to avoid all of the...
Very impressive, and this is going to be unfortunate for Jelly Baby. You can see them having to pry that, we'll call it the tongue depressor, down from the middle.
See the tip of the weapon sticking through the fork. I mean, they really haven't gotten anywhere yet.
Yeah, minimal
that is in
progress.
There. I have to say, I am surprised by how stuck that
There
is.
they go.
There it is. Now, that is unfortunate for Jelly Baby. As you can see, the front of that is not nearly as sharp and flat as it used to be.
No, it definitely took a beating. That thermoplastic polyurethane, that's TPU for you. Basically, think of it as somewhere between tire rubber and bubble gum.
Fight will resume with about 2 minutes left.
Oh, and now the wall part 2 is stuck. I think its weapon is stuck in the
wall.
Oh, and almost patented at this point, a trademark move from Jelly Baby. They're going to try to interfere with the house robot to prevent the house robot from unsticking their opponent.
We mentioned that you get one unstick per match. You get one unstick request per match. It lasts 20 seconds, and if your opponent can disrupt it for 20 seconds, that's it. The fight is going to be counted out. But of course, the house robot weighs, how much does it weigh, Ricky?
60 pounds in the 3-pound weight class. So that's 20 times the mass of Jelly Baby.
The wall part 2 able to unstick themselves. Jelly Baby no worse the wear for going up against a 20 times heavier robot. And now they're stuck under the wall.
Not the wall part 2, mind you.
The wall part 3 is now stuck under the wall.
Yeah.
Then they're able to get out.
Oh, but the wall part 2 is not.
They're stuck against Brett, our house robot.
Oh, here's an excellent pin from Jelly Baby. The
This
wall
is
part
what we're
2
used to
doing
seeing.
their best to swing that hammer saw, but it's not doing any good.
Smothering control from Jelly Baby. Just pushing their opponent into awkward positions is what they've been doing all day. Ooh. The wall having some opportunities here, but really unable to bring that weapon to bear.
No, but Jelly Baby doing an excellent job controlling this match. As we come down into the last 10 seconds, this will be going to the judges, but this game could be a very one-sided fight by the end of the 3 minutes.
Paige Playfield and Jelly Baby have to be happy with this as Ben Hoxie tries to show any sort of aggression with the fight coming to an end. The robots will show movement for the judges as this will be going to a judge's decision. They're going to use this function test to score the damage, make sure what is or isn't working on both of these robots, get that damage score correct. Huge part of the judging process. See Paige excited with the result of that fight. Let's go up to Richard, hear what he has to say.
Well, impressive primetime so far. And speaking of impressive, somebody who I don't even think I can say clawing their way through the competition, you've been shredding it. It's Ben of RoboCat. How impressed are you with your bot's performance?
Honestly, it's performed way better than I thought it would. I've made a lot of small upgrades since last time. No big changes, just focusing on the detail work.
Yeah, and clearly you are organized and attention to detail is very important to you. So what modifications have you made in preparation for the invisible hand?
So mostly just the removal of my forks. I want to be able to maneuver and hopefully not feed him those forks so they're completely gone. Ideally, I'd like to focus on maneuverability, focus on tuning my drive, tuning my weapon, and getting around him and avoiding those weapon-on-weapon collisions with that huge beater.
Think you can keep tearing it up?
I mean, that's the plan.
Modest, yes, right now, but he told me earlier, I'm sorry the fights haven't been longer, so we'll see what the next fight has in store for Ben and making the University of Cincinnati proud. We're going to go ahead and send it down to Sam.
All right, I'm in cage 1, hanging out with Flo, and Flo knows that Red Storm is in the tournament in the 30-pound class. They advance to the next round, and Red Storm is famous for messing with our house bots. We updated our switch so it wouldn't be so easy, but if Kevin Milcheski and Red Storm still manages to turn off Flo, he'll get this trophy and $1,000. Not bad.
Thank you, Sam. If I was Kevin, I'd be taking that as a challenge, a personal challenge.
I think he always does. I'm hearing we've got a judge's decision from that last fight.
I imagine it's going to appear on screen. Across the board,
Ooh.
Jelly Baby, very, very even distribution across the board. Only 1 point of difference between all the judges and an overwhelming score difference. No surprise.
Unanimous, fairly dominant decision, and I think that reflects the fight. Quite the performance from Paige there. She'll be moving on
to fight
tonight.
Monkfish in just a little while.
What a fight that will be. Monkfish has been so destructive today.
Let's go ahead and meet our next competitors. First up, we have Brian Jackson and Murphy's Law. They're going to be going up against
Cameron Guerin from Milford, New Hampshire, and his robot, Sad Octopus.
We're going to hop right into cage 2. That, of course, is our favorite 3-pound arena here at NHRL in Norwalk, Connecticut. You can see the competitors getting locked, loaded, making sure their robots are ready to go.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots,
Away
fight.
we go. Murphy's Law, the aggressor here out of the box. Sad Octopus a little bit on their heels.
Ooh, some damage right off the bat on Murphy's Law, left front fork.
Yeah, it's a little wibbly wobbly. Still seems to be working okay. Some of these forks are designed with a lot of compliance, a lot of movement, but I don't know if that's the case for Murphy's Law.
Oh, something is hitting something.
Oh, that is not a good spot. They are able to free themselves. Murphy's Law moving again, but Sad Octopus has really taken a moment to become dominant in this match. Murphy's Law has lost their weapon functionality. They are now a push robot But boy, are they pushing.
Great pin here. Sad Octopus looking to show some more damage, control, aggression.
You see a belt has come loose. That's a drive belt from one side.
Oh.
That is not a good spot for Murphy's Law.
Here comes the unstick. Is that
hard to say if they're going to be able to free themselves or if they're going to call for the unstick. They have called for the unstick, it seems.
Brett kind of jumped the gun there a little bit.
Delicate operation. And
oh, boy.
Only to have wheels immediately removed by Sad Octopus.
The left side is entirely coming off of Murphy's Law now as Sad Octopus is having their way. No defense, no offense on Murphy's Law. Nothing they can do except hope Sad Octopus stops working in the next 1 minute and 19 seconds.
Murphy's Law not out of the running yet. They are still moving. They are still pushing.
You always have a chance in combat robotics. Anything can happen at any time. Sad Octopus could overheat from all these hits. You never know.
But it ain't looking good. Sad Octopus now has Murphy's Law completely immobilized.
That's oh boy, the other wheel's falling off.
Yeah, the wheels are off of their axles.
It doesn't look good for Murphy's Law.
Knockout.
Your winner by knockout, Sad Octopus. Cameron looking mighty pleased. A very well-earned win. That fight did not start off in their favor.
No. Another fight today where we see the beginning not reflect the rest of the match. Sad Octopus really able to turn that around after some good control early on for Murphy's Law. Let's take a look at the replays to see how that played out. A lot of domination hits, pieces falling off, belts littering the arena. Successful unstick request from Murphy's Law, but Sad Octopus dominant, walking away with the knockout victory. Brian Jackson, disappointment. Cameron Guerin, excited. A lot of debris for the arena crew to clean up here after that one.
It's just amazing to me. It never ceases to amaze me how much damage 3-pound robots can do to structural building materials. We're going to send it to Sam.
All right, I am in the bar area here, and I just so happen to be next to where the next coming robots are on deck. And one of those builders I wouldn't mind having a drink with, and that is everyone's favorite, Glenn Boxall and Caldera. So he's coming up in the cage soon, and I can't wait to see it.
Thank you, Sam. I love Sam's excitement cage side. You know he loves this down to his very core.
In the midst of the crowd tonight, we've got a big crowd here, sold out, tons of energy in the bowl, looking on, and Sam's right in the middle of it.
And you know, where else could we say that a sizable, a sizable portion of this crowd is here to see that man right there, Glenn Boxall and Caldera.
Caldera is an impressive robot here. Very often, Glenn is a regular part of NHRL tournaments, and he's been dialing this robot in. He's going to be going against Robotics from Iden Reichenberg out of Syracuse, New York. And this should be quite the battle.
Yeah, Robotics has a mixed record, but a lot of KOs. And of course, what can we say about Glenn other than his record is terrifying? One of the most experienced NHRL particular builders here. He has been to so many events, 28 events. I mean, Robotics has 7 events under their belt. That's nothing to scoff at.
Robotics has 26 fights, 17-9 record. Caldera has 51 knockouts.
1. Fight, robots, fight.
It is worth pointing out, proportionally, Robotics does have the better record for knockouts. So this could be an explosive fight in either direction.
Both these robots have knockout power. And both these robots tend to win when it goes to a knockout. They can't both do that tonight.
Radix going flying. One of the amazing things about Caldera is its ability to stay planted. Radix not sharing that particular trait right now.
Let's see, the wheel guard is just hanging by a thread now on Radix. Caldera looking to take advantage.
At the back of Radix looking like a 1950s tin can and then being blown off entirely.
We're 1 minute into this 3-minute fight. Can both robots keep up this durability as they wail on each other and toss them from corner to corner?
These seem like glancing blows, and it's true they aren't going flying, but each of these hits is doing damage. It's wear and tear, and it's chewing and chewing and chewing at the delicate electronics and batteries inside of these robots.
Sometimes these little nicks over time can be a lot more damaging than one big hit as they chew away at wheels, chew away at armor in the same spot, and eventually hit something important.
Both of these robots still being very cautious. No clear victor, but I'd have to give the edge to Caldera at this point as we come down to a little less than half the match remaining.
Entirely ripped off that wheel guard now,
wow,
and there
the wheel
it goes.
is gone! Radix, a light explosion for your evening pleasure.
The little hits add up as the armor and wheel come off. Radix cannot move. Caldera is going to take this by KO.
Knockout.
Glenn Boxall lost earlier tonight, knocked out of the 12-pound competition, but he's still in it in 3 pounds.
Hell of a fight, dude. Hell of a fight. That was a fun match. Oh, this body's coming back out today.
These fights look so close until they aren't. As Radix was holding their own until that armor finally gave way. All those little nicks added up, and then boom.
It could be so sudden and so dramatic, and that's exactly what we saw here. Let's go into the replay, see if we can start to see that damage add up. You can see glancing blows, but Radix flying all over the arena. After they hit the walls, the floor, that had to do as much damage as anything else.
Yeah, you could see this first series there resulted in the armor starting to come off, and then Caldera just tearing it away bit by bit for the rest of the fight till it finally gave.
And a very happy Glenn Boxall, very pleased. Let's go to Richard. Richard, what can you tell us?
Well, what I can tell you is that we are still in prime time fight preview mode, and the semifinals for the 3-pound just got a bit more interesting. I'm here with Rachel of Monkfish, talk of the tournament, and you will face a bot that is quite literally the opposite of you. How do you feel about that matchup?
It'll be fun to fight a control bot. It's been a while since I've had to do that. I've spar occasionally with my husband with his control bot Wicked Wedge, and I actually enjoy it quite a bit. So we'll see. I don't know if I'll get swallowed up by those big arms or if I'll be able to just cut right into him. I'm not sure, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Have you needed to make any modifications on your bot today?
I'm going to run a lighter blade for now so that I can spin up as quickly as possible to try and, because I assume that Jelly Baby's going to try to rush me. So I'm going to try to do what I can to spin up as quickly as possible and bite into all that TPU.
You both seem like women on a mission, so what's the strategy against Jelly Baby?
Strategy? Spin to win.
Keep it simple, spin to win. Somebody's got to lose, as crazy as it sounds. Semi-final action for the 3-pounder. Adam, Ricky, back to you guys.
Hey, thank you, Richard. What a fight. I'm excited for the rest of these, though.
We've been having banger after banger all night. This has been
Truly
incredible fights, incredible energy. Let's take a look at the 12-pound bracket, see what more fights we have coming up.
Well, we're going to have the Invisible Hand going up against RoboCat right out of the bat. That's going to be fun. Minor Threat 5, a legend in the sport, going up against Grim Ripper. The ever-wily Full Court going up against the newbie Behemoth. And Buzzkill going against the veteran Carmen. That is a stacked roster.
These are all going to be great. I mean, but let's just jump right into it and meet the next matchup.
First up, we have Aaron Taggart and the Invisible Hand. Aaron's gonna be facing up against his opponent,
Ben Haas from Cincinnati, Ohio, and his robot, RoboCat. Here we are in cage one. The driver's dialed in, ready for this one to get going. Are you ready for this one to get going, Ricky?
I am pumped. This is going to be a pretty good matchup. Both of these robots have been having an excellent day and can do a lot of damage in a small package.
Fight, robots, fight.
I love the 12-pound class. They have so much room to run around. They can really get up to speed and such incredible things like that. Robots going flying.
RoboCat is doing the thing, but the Invisible Hand lets them out. Big hits from the Invisible Hand, tossing RoboCat around, but you have to wonder, will being nice there cost them? They could have made their opponent request an unstick. So far, they're looking good. RoboCat, nothing doing here, losing the ground game on these head-to-head engagements.
Both of these robots getting their bearings. Oh, that was a very graceful kind of launch.
2 minutes left here, 1/3 of the way in. Still anyone's fight, but you have to give the first third to the Invisible Hand. RoboCat again flying backwards. They have to get around the side or the back of the Invisible Hand to have any chance in this fight.
Look at these chained hits over and over, and there is RoboCat stuck upside down.
That time they let them request the unstick. Wow, that'll be it.
The entire side armor package ripped off of RoboCat. They're struggling to move. Their robot is high-centered on the armor on the left hand. And look, they've been done a favor. The Invisible Hand ripping it off.
That's 2 times now. Invisible Hand has led their opponents off the hook while they were stuck. They want to keep playing here.
That's a big weapon and a durable robot. I think Invisible Hand is here to play, Adam.
They're here to have fun. RoboCat able to bounce out of that position. The weapon no longer spinning at all on RoboCat. 1 minute left. They got to be crossing their fingers, hoping something goes wrong on the Invisible Hand, because they are not winning this judge's decision right now.
No, not a chance. But again, anything can happen.
Speak of the devil.
Invisible Hand stuck in place for a moment.
You could see the drivers reacting there for a second. 30 seconds left. There's still time to be counted out. Once we get below 20, there won't be enough time for a robot to get stuck and be counted out the full 10 count. Oh, and they're going to request the unstick here. An unstick lasts for 20 seconds. That means we're going to make it to the bell. But if the Invisible Hand does not have motion or weapon power as this comes to the bell, that is going to change this judge's decision dramatically.
Who would have seen this coming? That was not the way this match started off, or even the middle section would have suggested it would have ended up. What a strange fight. You got to wonder what happened there.
Well, the superstitious person in me really wants to know what it was Ben Haas did so that I can do it in all of my future fights when I'm losing. Because, wow, exactly what they needed to happen.
Well, let's see if we can see it in one of the replays. That is our first big exchange. Invisible Hand effortlessly tossing their opponent across the arena and then chaining these hits one or another. It's so stable and so planted. I got to say, I'm a little partial right now. I want to see it keep doing this. I love RoboCat, but the Invisible Hand, until this moment, was just lining them up and shutting them down.
I think they ran their batteries out with all those hits.
It's very possible.
They let their opponent get off the hook twice in that fight. That would have been a knockout easily if they hadn't have done either of those times. And I wonder if they are feeling a bit bad about that. This is the knockout rounds. This is prime time, and maybe they were a little bit too nice. We'll see what the judges make of that, but that damage score is going to be swung wildly. Did they have enough control and aggression to make up for it? Maybe. Maybe they'll sneak out of that by the skin of their teeth.
And don't forget, RoboCat did take a lot of damage themselves.
Yes.
It's not like it's a complete blowout.
Yeah.
Both of these robots took damage, and that is going to make it easier for Control and Aggressive to play a larger part in the judging score.
I think Invisible Hand is still going to take that judge's decision, but it's going to be a lot closer than it would have been if they could have made it to the end still moving.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and unfortunately for us, that requires a little bit of patience.
Oh, patience.
I know, but you can hear the crowd is pumped. They are excited. That was a darn good fight.
I think I'm hearing them cheer for the broomsticks here.
Yeah, they're into it. Need themselves a broom shakalaka.
These are actually broom fans. They're not here for the robot fighting. They're here for the cleanup after the robot fights.
Well, there was a convention in town for broom aficionados here in Norwalk, Connecticut. There actually were a couple conventions here in town this weekend. I don't think any of them involved brooms, except perhaps incidental broom usage. I can't promise there were no brooms.
They probably all involve brooms in some level.
You would hope.
Yeah.
One of them was a dog show, so I imagine a lot of brooms. That said, we employ quite a lot ourselves.
Fans enjoying themselves here. You can get these stylish ear protection in the store. But let's hit up Sam. Let's see what he has to say.
Right. Here you go. There we are. That was a classic 12-pound matchup. Some compact vertical spinners going head-to-head, and that is what you can expect across most of the 12-pound class, with one exception perhaps, and that is Grim Ripper, who's about to fight, and I can't wait to see this horizontal take on a bevy of verticals. So,
well, I'm also pretty excited about Grim Ripper. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a robot that I don't want to say I underestimate, but it just quietly does its business. Every time it's in the arena, it delivers a good fight, and it's unassuming in some ways. It's a normal, traditional robot design. In some sense.
I love an unassuming robot. I mean, you look at Grim Ripper there. It's got this kind of cut-off conical shape with the rounded wedge all the way around it, little undercutter peeking out, and I think most people would discount it.
Well,
but it's just able to dish out those little hits that we talk about just over time.
It's a robot shape and size that used to be somewhat popular. We used to see robots designed like this. It's traditional in that sense. But make no mistake, this is a much more advanced version of the robots that it might remind you of from yesteryear. They've advanced this design quite a bit, and as such, it can really hang with the robots of today.
Yeah. Nelson Byros, the driver of Grim Ripper, is very aggressive going up against Galoop Grell and Minor Threat 5, a terrifying four-wheel drive burst.
Away we go. That is an incredibly fast spin up on Grim Ripper and a very slow start from Minor Threat 5. Big hit, though, with Grim Ripper getting bounced back just a bit.
Grim Ripper is a sturdy robot. You can see there that geometry paying off as Minor Threat 5 goes flying. Ooh.
Now, Grim Ripper is invertible, but it does not want to be in this position.
No, and it's not often in this position. You gotta think they were surprised after that hit.
It's a very stable robot. This doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, you can see with the smaller, top plate facing down, their maneuverability goes downhill. Minor Threat 5 taking advantage as Luke Grell getting in these hits. Oh! The shape of Grim Ripper is sort of a perfect teeing off point for the spinner of Minor Threat 5 when it's upside down.
Yeah, the alignment is something else, but both robots still punching just as hard as ever. Oh, look at those physics. Oh! Whoa! Big hits. Robots going flying.
Grim Ripper is stuck upside down, propped up against the house robot, and Minor Threat 5 is not moving. Grim Ripper able to move after the house robot moves out of the way. Minor Threat 5 moving again now. Weapon spinning much slower.
Yeah, neither of these weapons is going full blast. In Grim Ripper's case, it's not going at all.
Oh, but now they're right side up. Oh, and unfortunately the armor or something has been tweaked.
And it seems Minor Threat 5 was intentionally dialing that speed down. Yeah, look, you can see that notch out of the UHMW shell of Grim Ripper.
Such a tiny little bent piece, and now they can't move.
They're gonna get counted out. Hit right at the last moment. That's unusual. Minor Threat 5 wanting to keep the fight going a little longer. Oh, and Grim Ripper righted into a position where it can drive again.
Grim Ripper can move fine upside down right now without that little piece of plastic, so they're going to say thank you. And again, anything can happen, so who knows? But back on their feet, Grim Ripper not much doing with 25 seconds left in this fight. Minor Threat 5 is going to back off, and we're going to see the rest of that countdown.
That's always a treat. You win a fight, you give your opponent an out, and then you come back and you kick them down a little more, and you walk away with a knockout nonetheless. Luke has got to be feeling good. Nelson Barrios of Grim Ripper, he doesn't look too displeased himself.
Yeah, he made it to the end of the fight, or well, almost made it to the end of the fight, but put up a valiant effort. Just a little bent piece of plastic there. Let's take a look at the replays here. Grim Ripper came out upside down almost immediately. That's what led to the damage on the shell. On their head, Grim Ripper not able to do much. Minor Threat 5 taking advantage, sending them flying a few times.
You got to remember, hits on that shell when it's in its normal orientation are not going to cause the problem that we just saw. The only time that happens is when it's upside down and gets hit. That's when it can no longer have enough clearance to drive, and that's exactly what happened.
And we're going to throw it to Richard.
Hey guys, welcome back. I have another treat for you. That is another judge's decision between RoboCat and the Invisible Hand. Tensions are high in the pit right now, and we have... It's the Invisible Hand, unanimous decision. You hear the reaction behind me. Wow, what a fight. I cannot wait to see how the Invisible Hand does in the next round. But haven't been many judges' decisions, so I think that makes for a pretty great prime time. Sam, let's send it down to you.
Yes, and it is a great prime time here in the bowl. The crowds are popping. We've got cage-side drinks. We've got food trucks galore, and quite frankly, the food is delicious. You mind if I have a piece? Thank you so much.
We're going to have some New Yorkers complaining about that pizza, but I didn't think it looked bad at all.
You know, Connecticut is famous for their pizza. New Haven pizza is pretty popular.
Let's get ready for our fight. We're here for robots, not pizza.
One bite, everyone knows the rules. We're going to hop into the fight here in Cage 1.
Full Court is going to be going up against Behemoth. Behemoth, a newcomer from Stack, coming all the way up from Maryland, part of Team Honeycracked, going up against Full Court. Now, if you're just joining us in this sport, Full Court has a reputation. This is a robot that pushes the rules and pushes the boundaries of even the size restrictions we have here. But it is fearsome. It is an absolute monstrosity of a robot, and in fact a world champion. It has walked away with not just golden dumpsters but golden Bretts, and they have been well earned. Let's see if they can keep up that good luck today against Behemoth.
They've got fans in the crowd with signs chanting their names. Full Court has a lot of support in this building. Coleman Christie coming all the way from Long Beach, California. 3-point Robotics with Full Court. They've dialed in the weapon on Full Court. Used to have these waggle sticks, as we would call them. It's a full body flipper now, and we saw it do a suplex earlier today.
Yeah, this weapon system is no joke. Coleman is incredibly careful with it. He's stingy with its usage because the robot is so good at controlling even without the weapons. But make no mistake, that can flip an opponent back onto its back or onto a wall, no problems whatsoever.
Behemoth, this is their first event, 3-1 record today, doing
5,
really well, but they've
4,
got their work cut out
3,
for them.
2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
There we go. A valiant first strike from Behemoth, but it is shrugged off by Full Court.
Behemoth's strategy very similar to Jelly Baby from earlier today, smothering control.
Oh, interesting. Behemoth getting caught up. And then a slowdown from Behemoth.
Yeah, Behemoth does not really like being upside down. Their maneuverability not so great with those treads only touching at the back. Full Court taking full advantage.
Full Court not using its weapons so much yet, but definitely controlling the match almost effortlessly. There, you can see a little bit of weapon usage.
I think he heard you.
He may have.
Full Court with a Full Court press here as Behemoth shoved up against the wall.
Full Court so hard to damage. It's just so bendy, and that is exactly where Behemoth wants to be, behind its opponent, taking damage on the back.
But flipped over again, and Full Court not letting them get anywhere. Smothering offense from Full Court. Behemoth, so much more kinetic energy stored in that disc. Unable to deliver it as the fork design on Full Court is so dialed in to face against these horizontal drums.
Yeah, Full Court, Coleman Christie has an entire range of front wedges for different opponents lined up for Full Court. He sized up Behemoth and said, these are exactly the sharp pointy things I want to attach to the front of my robot to ruin Behemoth's day, and it's working out perfectly.
These robots today have so many configurations dialed in precisely for their opponents. Full Court and Coleman Christie are on top of perfect configurations. Behemoth just unable to do anything this fight.
There you can see an attempted lift from Full Court. Let's see if they go for it again.
Behemoth spending more time upside down than right side up. That's not where they want to be. 30 seconds left as you can hear the pin countdown happening in the background. You need to release before the 10 seconds is up.
Behemoth really struggling while it's upside down. Even when it's right side up, still not able to deliver much in terms of aggression or control.
Gotta say, it is super impressive to be able to drive a robot this well as we get to the end. Not a single hit from Behemoth against the chassis of Full Court. That is driving skill from Coleman Christie.
Very, very well done. Coleman looks very pleased with that effort.
Stack and Behemoth have got to be feeling frustrated after a fight like that. What do you do, Ricky? What do you do when you're fighting against a robot like
It's
like
really tough because what your instinct is to take a step back, let yourself reset, and come up with a little bit of a plan on how to attack. And a good opponent like Coleman is never, ever going to let that happen. You go in with a plan, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but it's that inability to form your backup plan and your backup plan that really separates whether or not you can make a comeback or not.
It is such a tough thing to fight against an aggressive opponent who's winning the ground game. And when they're as wide as full court, it just makes it even harder. We saw Behemoth get behind full court a few times. They were unable to do anything, just stuck behind the wedge. Full court would back up, and then boom, they're back on the wedge again.
Yeah, and a robot like Behemoth wants to damage the ground game over time, but when there are so many forks and it's so wide, it's just not gonna happen. Let's go to Sam, see what he has to say. I think there's some news.
Yes, I am here with Zoe Lambert from Team Honeycrack. Zoe, you just had a fight in here with full court. A little rough, but you've got another one coming up right next with Buzzkill. Are you ready for that fight?
Oh yeah, I think we're definitely ready for that fight. We're excited for it.
And I see you have your whole team behind you here, and I'm sure they're giving you mad support throughout the day. What are they bringing to this fight?
So Buzzkill's bringing his best for this fight. We're fighting Carmen, and we're very excited. We work well with Team Defective, and now we get to fight them, and it's always fun when we get to do that.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to see it, and it's coming up next.
You can see Coleman signing the fans' signs there. They're excited about it.
World champion full court. That is so cool to see fans of robots homegrown here at NHRL. Celebrities in their own right and only growing in their level of celebrity. And I gotta say, well earned at this point.
Well earned.
We're gonna get into the next fight here in just a moment. Let's meet those competitors right now. First up, we've got Liam King from California, Maryland, bringing Buzzkill. He's gonna be facing up against
Michael Shore out of New Kensington, Pennsylvania, from Team Defective with his robot, Carmen!
Carmen, such a pretty robot, even with a little bit of wear and tear, a little miles on the tires. We're gonna go into cage 1 for this fight. Carmen and Buzzkill are both experienced robots. Buzzkill ranked a bit higher, 7 here out of all of that weight class, all the 12-pounders, going up against Carmen's 25th ranking. But Carmen has experience on their side. They have a few more events under their belt. Both of these robots over a dozen events.
I think we're going to see some really good driving in this fight.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Both robots off to a very slow start. I wonder if that's intentional or if it's based on damage.
Carmen kind of doing a sit and spin here as Buzzkill comes in. A few little nicks.
Buzzkill, a horizontal undercutter. A big blade under the front of that robot that can take chunks out of its opponent.
It does look like there is some maneuverability issue with Carmen, not driving like we usually see it.
Now, Carmen can be a really speedy robot, although they are more careful when they run this configuration. Oh! There's a big hit! That wedge on the front of Carmen will feed Buzzkill right up into that spinning drum of death.
I think you might be right, Ricky, as Carmen driving a little bit faster as this fight goes on. Buzzkill, worse for wear, as their weapon is no longer spinning.
No, smoke is starting to come out just a little from the front of Buzzkill. Maybe as they try to spin a weapon that really doesn't want to spin. You can see one of the forks is also starting to come loose on the back of Buzzkill. This makes them easy pickings for Carmen. Woo! Now listen to that noise. That weapon is still spinning at a scary speed, but definitely not full speed. Carmen is being cautious.
Yeah, you got to be careful. They're spun back up now, and it's looking dangerous. Whatever was wrong is not wrong anymore. Carmen getting hit in the backside. They don't want that. Buzzkill going flying.
That is one of the forks off of the back of Buzzkill has now been completely removed, surgically excised. Woo!
Buzzkill almost hit the ceiling on that last hit, using their unstick here to get off the wall. You can hear Carmen spinning up and down. It keeps the speed a little bit lower to be more maneuverable.
Oh, the weapon is spinning again on Buzzkill.
They've been intermittent, but when they start spinning again, they get good speed out of it.
Yeah, interesting. It'd be fun to know what the exact cause is.
Oh! The weapon is dislodged and no longer spinning on Buzzkill.
Buzzkill has been decapitated. That weapon is just a glorified fidget spinner.
Carmen spinning down here, maybe just to be conservative with 20 seconds left.
This is going to be going to the judges, but what a way to leave the end of the match. Carmen has demonstrated damage. They've demonstrated aggression, and now they're showing control over their opponent.
Wow.
When it comes to a judge's decision, Carmen's going to have it all.
The crowd likes that one. A back and forth fight. Both robots dishing out big hits. Buzzkill starting to spin intermittently and then off. The weapon goes flying into the ceiling. You can see in the beginning Carmen driving, controlled, tentatively. Buzzkill, aggressive, opens him up to some big hits early on. In the middle of the fight, they were able to come back, land some big hits against Carmen, but then Carmen continuously sent them flying.
Yeah, I know it is B themed, but even for a B, that's a lot of airtime. I am impressed, thoroughly impressed with Carmen. They've taken a beating through this day. That sort of accrued damage can really slow you down at this point in the competition. Michael Shore and his robot is showing no signs of any sort of fatigue. They are coming out swinging, and they're going in to this next match, I assume, sitting pretty.
Gotta be happy with that performance to take those hits. Oh, I'm hearing Richard has some news for us upstairs.
Let's go to him.
That's right. Richard in the pits means that we have a judge's decision coming in. And again, tensions are high. We don't really know what to think, but it's going to be revealed any moment now. So collective drum roll as we get ready for this one. And it is full court unanimous decision over Behemoth. Wow. All right. So we got 30-pounders coming up, but before we get to those, we have Justin of Undertaker. What happened before the fight?
Before the fight, really, just everything broke. The weapon broke, motors broke. Everything's broken. I won't have time to repair it in time.
So unfortunate. It's the first bummer of the night. It's a forfeit. So, I mean, what do you take away from this?
Now I know what to do to improve my robot. For example, the weapon shaft, I need to make it thicker. I need to make sure that it's mounted properly. It actually bent right over here. You see where the bearing is in between the slits. It's very crooked. That would require me to take the right upright off. It would require me to re-weld it. This is actually the second time it's been re-welded today. So it's just going to be a lot of work, and it's no time to really get it ready for the match.
Well, hey, keep your chin up. We were looking forward to that fight, but there's always another event. So, guys, it is win by forfeit for Megatron, and now we're going to send it back to Adam and Ricky.
Thank you, Richard. Man, I expected that fight to go the way it is. I expected a unanimous decision. Honestly, I expected a little bit more of the points in full court's favor. Behemoth really wasn't able to land a lot of hits or exhibit a lot of control. What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's crazy. And then a win by forfeit from Megatron there.
Yeah, so strange. Well, we're going to go to, we've got another judge's decision coming in. Let's check that out. Carmen across the board. Yeah, that is about what we expected. That was a decisive victory from Carmen. Exquisite driving. And yeah, like I said, in the fight, that is exactly what you want to have the judges see as you go into a judge's decision.
Let's throw it over to Sam.
All right, I'm in cage 1, and I'm here with Buzzkill's weapon, and it is still warm. It is sharp and full of shards that are giving me splinters, and it smells like friction, but Buzzkill managed to take so many hits in that fight, and mad props to them, even if they didn't win the judge's decision.
Yeah, they are no slouches. They kept going. They stuck with it. They made it to the bell. That's something to be proud of in and of itself. Heck, even just getting to this stage of the night, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, we are at a point where we've been battling today since 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Wear and tear to still work is incredible. But let's take a look at the 12-pound bracket and see the progress. We're down to the semifinals. 4 bots left. Invisible Hand is going to be taking on Minor Threat 5, and Full Court is going to be taking on Carmen. What do you make of these two matchups?
Absolutely no slouches in either of these two matches. Minor Threat, Invisible Hand, 2 big heavy hitters, and Full Court versus Carmen. That's a control robot going up against a monster of a spinner. That could go either way.
We've even seen some great control out of Carmen today.
Yeah, I think out of all the matches that Full Court could be facing down, Carmen is the one that they want to be facing least.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the 30-pound bracket. We're going to be jumping back to that in just a minute. Again, we mentioned just a moment ago, Megatron moves on via forfeit over Undertaker, so they will be in the finals today. The question is, who are they going to be fighting? It's either going to be Kevin Milcheski and Red Storm or Kill Switch, and we're going to see that in just a few minutes.
Both robots are working 100% tonight. Red Storm as fast as ever, one of the fastest, most controllable robots in the tournament, and Kill Switch has just been demolishing opponents today. Couldn't be a tougher matchup for either of them, really.
No, this is the point of the night where there just are no easy matchups. There are no fluke wins. If you're at this point in the day, you earned your way here. That's great. That feels great. But having to see who you're going to fight next, sometimes that doesn't feel so great.
Everyone at this point in the tournament is going to be back in December for the World Championships. Top 4 in every weight class make it. At this point, they're fighting for these golden dumpsters to take home.
Talking about who you're going to be fighting next, let's see who we're fighting next. First up, we've got Kevin Milcheski and Red Storm. Loaded into the arena, looking formidable. He's going to be going up against Jacob Painter and Kill Switch. Kill Switch has been a punishing robot, a brutal robot, giving big hit after big hit and not giving their opponents even a moment to breathe. Kevin is going to have his work cut out for him as someone who faces down opponents with no fear and goes weapon to weapon all day long. He picked a heck of a robot for that strategy. Let's go into the tail of the tape.
Red Storm from Kevin Milcheski out of Seattle, Washington, is a lifter sitting at 16-6. It is non-stop grappling, going up against Kill Switch, Jacob Painter out of Urbana, Illinois. Their beater bar is extremely destructive. It's brand new. Nobody knows what it's gonna do. Sitting at 3-1 on the day. This would be a huge upset win for Kill Switch.
Adam, I gotta say, I have a suspicion of what Kill Switch is gonna do. Kill Switch gonna smash. It's gonna go into this fight and it's gonna smash and smash and smash as long as Kevin will let it.
when an immovable force hits an immovable force, well, what happens? Both these robots are so aggressive and so strong.
Let's find out.
Robots fight.
Kevin off to a quick start. He does not want his opponent to spin that weapon up, but it's too late, Kevin.
I can feel the weapon.
Oh, look at that incredible driving from Kevin, getting around the back.
Great shot of the shufflers there on kill switch, giving them a 50% weight bonus. 45 pounds to kill switch in the arena right now.
This is incredible driving from Kevin. This is textbook Red Storm, textbook control robot, exactly what you want to do. Turn your robot around, turn your opponent around rather, force them into a wall and get them to damage themselves.
Oh, great hit from kill switch is Red Storm on their heels now. Both of these drivers so aggressive, taking advantage of any opportunity they're given. One of Red Storm's wheels is shattered and laying on the ground.
Yeah, they do have 4 wheels, but that's not a whole lot of extra lives when you're going up against someone like Kill Switch.
2 minutes to go. Both robots still going strong. Kevin is really dialed in this robot.
He really, really has. It's not just great driving. This is great design. The geometry of those front forks, perfect for manipulating your opponent and delivering these kind of pins.
And not just forks, so much effort has gone into those wheels. Those have cleats on them, basically like little saw blades digging into the wood floor for maximum traction. Kill switch doesn't care about that as it sends Red Storm flying.
Incredible look, getting a little lift under its belt as it drives over its own wheels.
Great pin here from Kill Switch, keeping Red Storm against the wall.
This is still anyone's game.
Red Storm might need to request an unstick here.
They're doing their best, but I think this is unstick territory.
And if they request it, Red Storm is going to get hit by Kill Switch.
Yep. Red Storm not yet free. This is not the best place for them to be, but they're free now.
Oh, and right back into the aggression. 30 seconds left, trying to leave a mark.
Turnabout is free prey, a nice little lift.
Who's going to leave that final mark on the judges? What are they going to think as they go into their scorecards?
Look at that weapon of Red Storm locked into the weapon of Kill Switch. That keeps them from spinning up.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to spin up later at the weapon check. If that weapon's not working, that could be huge.
This will be going to the judges, and look, Red Storm is not moving for a moment anyway.
Oh. Full mobility out of Kill Switch. I am not seeing that weapon spin. Whereas Red Storm
is driving, but it is having trouble.
Very slow going on weapon and drive for Red Storm.
Interesting. Those little token movements we saw were not in the period where the robots are supposed to be demonstrating for the judges their mobility and their functionality. This is anybody's game, Adam.
Really interesting to see how they're going to score that function test. Let's take a look at the replays. I think that fight lived up to what we all expected. 2 extremely durable, extremely aggressive drivers and robots.
Listen, we have to call out Jacob Painter here. This robot is brand new, going up against one of the best drivers and most experienced robot builders here today in Kevin Milcheski. The fact that this brand new robot can go toe-to-toe and nobody knows what's going to happen with this judge's decision, that is incredibly impressive.
Absolutely wild performance out of a rookie robot going against Red Storm. Red Storm has had so much success here.
I am pumped.
No matter what happens, both drivers can be proud. Both teams can be proud of what they did here today. That was an insane fight.
Yeah, and let's not overlook, both of these drivers have punched their ticket to the World Championships at the end of the year. Regardless of what happens here, they could be facing off against each other in just a few months. In the meantime, let's go to Sam. Sam, what do you got for us?
My goodness, Red Storm is relentless. He just takes it to his opponents no matter what, tanking all of those hits and just keeping on going. He's truly a veteran at the top of his class with an archetype that he owns. I'm looking forward to this judge's decision, and I'm sure all of you at home are as well.
I'm definitely excited for it. Honestly, there hasn't been a dull fight here all day, but that was fantastic.
The fights have been getting better and better all night, and I can't wait to see what we have up next. I hear we're going to go to the 3-pound bracket.
Yeah, I believe we're going to have Monkfish going up against Jelly Baby. Monkfish has been a terror today, and Jelly Baby has been indestructible. Another tale as old as time. Let's see how that goes for us as we get into the 3-pound cage. Oh, interesting. We're getting word now that the judge's decision on that last match is starting to become apparent. One of the 3 judges' votes is in. We're going to wait to see what happens from here. We do need at least 2 of the 3 judges' decisions before we know, and all 3 before we can show you what the results are. We'll be finding out in just a few moments.
That Jelly Baby versus Monkfish fight coming up has got to be the battle of the best control bot remaining from the entire day and the most damaging in the 3-pound class.
Yeah. See a lot of kids pumped for robot pieces. You know, we're lucky we have so many plastic and rubber robot pieces today that we can actually give away to children. Although I think back to all the sharp objects I was given as a child, so it worked out for me.
Oh.
The votes are in. We're going to have them on screen here in just a moment. This is a surprise to us. We don't even know. Red Storm across the board. Wow, look at that, a 9, 11, and a 12. That's a bit of a spread.
I got to say, I feel more in the 9-8 realm. That one is how I would have judged that.
I agree.
Judged to a little bit more swing than I felt. The crowd is mixed reaction on that.
Well, you got to remember, they have access to all the slow-mo, every single angle in the arena. They can go back, look at every detail that we might have missed here at the desk.
That's going to set up a Megatron versus...
Wow, Megatron versus Red Storm. That's a heck of a matchup.
But let's look at the 3-pound bracket. Monkfish versus Jelly Baby. We've been talking about that a lot. And Sad Octopus versus Caldera. This is going to be incredible to see who's going to end up in the finals.
Yeah, it's anybody's game with Sad Octopus and Caldera, and Jelly Baby versus Monkfish is 2 archetypes that are practically built for each other. We're going to see what happens here in just a few minutes, and man, am I excited. Let's go ahead and meet those first competitors that we were just talking about. First up, Monkfish. Rachel DeGuzman walking in here with this beautiful blue fish. It's got a little like old-timey toolbox to carry it into the arena.
That is quite the safety lock.
I love it. They're going to be going up against Jelly Baby from Paige Clayfield. Paige looking absolutely ecstatic as she enters the main walkway.
She is always happy to be coming in for a fight. Great.
Jelly Baby looking fresh and clean.
Both these robots looking fresh and clean. Great colorways. How do they look so good so late into the night?
I gotta say, it's probably a lot of spare parts. I don't think there's a lot. I don't think you clean up parts that have been through that many fights and get them looking that good. At least not in your 20-minute repair window.
My parts don't look that good when they're fresh on the robot for the photo shoot.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. No, look at that. That's got to be new parts. I did see a big pile of spares by Paige's table earlier. Let's jump right into the tail of the tape. Monkfish from Rachel DeGuzman, Ann Arbor, Michigan as her hometown, bringing this big horizontal undercutter spinner, a fantastic 24-5 record, and she is known, of course, for intense chaos. facing up against Cage, Clayfield, and Jelly Baby, hailing from Aberdeen, Maryland, just a little north of me. They've got a fantastically durable lift for a 27-6 record and just unmatched durability.
We're in cage 2 for this semifinal matchup. The winner goes on to fight for the golden dumpster in the final. Paige Clayfield trying to make it back to back.
4, 3.
This is her toughest
2,
challenge of the night so
1.
far.
Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go. Those forks on the front of Jelly Baby perfectly shaped to get under Monkfish, but each one of these exchanges is going to do some serious damage to Jelly Baby. Which one of these robots can outlast the other? That's the question.
These little hits on those little wedgelets are going to build up, and will Jelly be able to control the ground game for the whole fight as they are right now? Monkfish is getting a lot of hits in here. No one really taking advantage yet.
Then again, we haven't seen any weapon engagement yet from Jelly Baby, and that's going to be a big factor here too.
30 seconds in, no pins yet, no big hits. A couple wall slams from Jelly Baby.
Jelly Baby doing an incredibly good job of keeping that weapon on Monkfish under control. It's spinning, but it's not spinning full blast.
Monkfish getting around the backside a couple times here. Jelly Baby's got to be careful.
Oh, that weapon getting stuck in the ground for a moment.
You don't see that all the time. That was awkward. Able to get out of it. Great driving from Rachel de Guzman. There's a great wall slam from Paige Clayfield. We are almost halfway into this fight. Neither robot really setting the tone yet.
No, this is still absolutely anyone's game as we come down on the halfway mark. I gotta say, Jelly Baby, excellent driving so far, but Monkfish not letting up whatsoever.
These types of fights, if it goes this way the entire time, can come down to the little details in the rules. And those could be finicky sometimes. You want to take advantage, leave a big mark so the judges don't have any question in their minds about who won. This is big. Jelly Baby finally able to get a pin here. Monkfish escapes fairly quickly and gets their own pin against Jelly Baby.
Yeah, they are just trading blows. Every time I think someone's pulling ahead, the other one comes back with another punch.
Here's another kind of half pin from Jelly Baby.
Certainly showing control. But very tentative control. There's some damage.
And with so little in this fight to separate the two, that could be big. Paige looking for more of her kind of trademark pins here, but Monkfish is having none of it.
No, 30 seconds remaining, and this is still incredibly even.
Oh, some maneuverability issues here for Jelly Baby, as chunks of the wheels have been coming off now on these last couple engagements.
Yeah, it is very close, but this seems to be swinging in the favor of Monkfish in the last moments of the fight. We will be going to the judges.
Wow. Jelly Baby is such a smothering robot in all of its fights, but Monkfish able to escape almost all of the pin attempts, even getting a couple of their own as their weapon finally able to chew against the wheel there at the end.
Now,
Could that be the difference?
It could be the difference. The other thing I want to call out here, we had very little weapon engagement from Jelly Baby.
Yeah.
Yes, the control was there. There were some half pins, but we didn't see that weapon making a big impact in the fight. And when it's this close, that makes a huge difference. Let's go to the replay, see if we can tease out a little more information.
Such a close fight for the vast majority of it. You could see Monkfish get stuck a couple times, but each time so quickly getting out of it. They were flipped over a lot. Jelly Baby was pushing them around a lot, but Monkfish would turn right around, chip off a little bit of rubber here and there, get a pin here and there, and then at the end, getting the wheel. And like you said, not much weapon engagement.
Yeah,
Paige
it's
Clayfield
tough.
and Jelly Baby.
That will be a tough judge's decision to come to. We'll find out in just a few minutes. In the meantime, we're going to head up to Richard. He's in the pits. Richard, what do you got for us?
That's right, guys. We are plugging away through prime time, and the 30-pound stage is set for the finals. We have Jamison Go's Megatron against Kevin Milcheski's Red Storm. First, that judge's decision, your reaction to it.
That was a very, very close fight. I actually thought I lost that, but hey, I'll take a win, you know. Hats off to Killswitch. That was an amazing robot, and I thoroughly enjoyed that fight.
Yeah, a win is a win is a win, but now you face another vet in Jamison Go and Megatron. How are you adjusting and prepping?
I fought Jamison once before, got my butt handed to me. So we got a different plan this time. We're leaving the armor on instead of taking it off. Just going to try to take it to him head on. You know, I got more reach and see if we can outbox him.
Outbox him. I love the sound of that. We've got a heavyweight fight in the 30-pound class, and I cannot wait. It is Megatron versus Red Storm. Sam, we'll send it down to you.
Thank you so much, Richard. That last 3-pound fight was just a couple of robots at the top of their archetype. Both of these S-tier robots really matched up nicely against each other, and it's really going to go either way. I can't wait to see the JD from this 3-pound fight. We've got one more 3-pound fight of the round, and then we're off to the next one.
Man, I am pumped. Megatron versus Red Storm is one of those fights that, you know, the young robot fans at home or old robot fans at home just dream up in their notebook. In the meantime, we've got a judge's decision coming in for you right now. Let's see who took that last match. Monkfish across the board. Pretty close, not quite as close as I was expecting, I'm going to be honest with you.
Feels kind of right to me. I feel like the damage on the wheel there, that was kind of functional. Jelly Baby wasn't driving the same after that.
True.
That's going to swing it, and then, like you said, no weapon engagement from Jelly Baby and Paige Clayfield. That's gonna affect the aggression score a little bit.
Absolutely. They really only had to control to speak to, and even that was not overwhelming.
It wasn't as overwhelming as we usually see.
Well, let's go ahead and meet our next set of fighters. We're ready for another one. First up, Sad Octopus.
Cameron Guerin out of Milford, New Hampshire, going up against
Brian Jackson. Oh, maybe not quite yet. Excuse me. We've got Caldera in the house. Caldera and Glenn Boxell. You can hear the crowd is going nuts for Caldera. Glenn Boxell and Caldera has just become such a force to be reckoned with here in the House of Havoc. Sad Octopus is going to have their work cut out for them.
Caldera looks very similar every time we see it, but little bits and pieces are always changing. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Sad Octopus from Cameron Guerin out of Milford, New Hampshire is a vertical spinner sitting at 18 and 10. Its skill is a little bit of hot momentum. Going up against Caldera from Glenn Boxell in Marlborough, Massachusetts. It's a horizontal spinner with an amazing 85 and 43 record. His skill, experience, and class.
Yeah, you can't overstate the class. Everyone here has come to look at Glenn as not just an incredible competitor, but a pillar of their community. And frankly, it's intimidating. It's like punching Mr. Rogers. I wouldn't want to do it. I would feel weird about it after.
He is such a nice guy, but in the arena, his robot is brutal.
Fight, robots, fight.
Big engagement right off the bat. I think Caldera got the better of that one.
Sad Octopus stuck on their head, able to get back on their wheels there.
You can see those big white sparks flying from the titanium front plate on Sad Octopus. Will it hold up?
They're lining up hits, but they're missing a little bit here. Hitting on that one.
Some good ones, yeah. Now, Caldera's Achilles heel has been a weapon that gets stuck in the arena walls. Will that happen again?
One of their other issues of late has been their weapon frame breaking, but they've switched from carbon fiber to aluminum today, and they haven't been having any issues with it.
Yeah, carbon fiber is an amazing material, but it does tend to shatter, let me tell you.
Boy, do those new weapon frames look nice and shiny. They're going flying right now of Sad Octopus with a flurry of hits.
Oh, I see some sparks flying. That is either a bent front plow on Sad Octopus or bits of motor being chewed up. Either way, it's a bad sign for the reliability of Sad Octopus.
Bit of a back and forth fight here. Both robots flying across the arena. Sad Octopus stuck upside down trying to self-right, able to with a little bit of help from Caldera there. Arena's getting a little quieter.
Yeah, those weapons are slowing down, and the drive on Sad Octopus is starting to give up the ghost.
Everything on Sad Octopus slowing down a little bit.
They are still functioning, but you can tell that is a tired robot.
Caldera, however, still at 100% hit after hit after hit. It doesn't always have the biggest hits, but it is
Sad
extremely
Octopus
durable.
has come to a stop. They have tapped out.
Wow.
Glenn Boxell taking home a win. He's punching his ticket into the finals for today. Glenn had a brief moment of literal jumping for joy. Now he's looking very calm.
He's excited to be going to the championship tonight. He's earned it. Tough fight earlier.
Absolutely has. Looks like there was a bit of a fire situation. They're going to cool that robot down.
Earlier today, as you said, Caldera 12 got stuck in the wall and lost. Caldera 3 has not had that issue so far. Let's look at the replays. Wow. Big hits right out of the gate.
Yeah, a few really good hits early from Sad Octopus, but it just could not keep up the pace.
That is the difference that so many fights makes. Glenn Boxell's just been dialing in this robot. It's so durable.
It's the story of the day, too. We had so many new builders, so many new designs, and the ones that are really separating themselves, wheat from the chaff, is the robots that can keep that reliability up. If they can keep going the way they're designed to go, great. If they can only do it for a half a fight or even a couple of fights, they're going to be headed home.
The hits that these robots, these rookie robots are dishing out today would have one-hit KO'd so many robots just a few years ago. And now we see robots taking these hits over and over and over again. And if you can't take these full power hits for 3 minutes, you're not going to win a golden dumpster here.
True. It is true. You can see the crowd, they're getting ready for the finals for today. This has been a long day. We've had some delays, but we have had some incredible fights, and the excitement is still here. But boy, do people get hungry for more robot action when you get this late in the night. You can hear the competitors exiting the arena area, the bowl as we lovingly call it. Very appreciative crowd. Glenn's still waiting to get his robot free.
Yeah, there was a quick tap out there. They must have seen something that resulted in that fire.
There's a bit of a lull in the arena now, but everyone is on the edge of their seats. There it is. Glenn getting his cheers as he exits out of the bowl. Oh, and what's this? Don't these look familiar? Let me ask you a question, Adam. If you wanted to get involved in combat robotics, what would your first step be?
Well, I think you should head on down here, maybe to the NHRL.io website, and check out some of our amazing kits.
Yeah, we have, it's beyond just a kit. We have an entire program for new builders. The Eric kit comes with a series of videos. It comes with instructional, we'll call it literature, but in detailed instruction, detailed kits, detailed videos, and support at all times ready to go. Let's go to Sam. I think he can tell us a little bit more about him. Sam?
I sure can. This is the Havoc Academy Crash Course, and if you want to be Jamison Go, Glenn Boxel, this is your place to start. If you go to NHRL.io, you can sign up for Academy and get on your way into entering the 3-pound class and fighting robots in general. It's a great entry point. It's got everything you need to get started, and it's available at NHRL.io.
All right. I got to say, probably not how I would have gotten started all those years ago, simply because I have a penchant for dumpster diving. I'm going to be honest with you. But boy, what a resource. I would have killed for that as a little kid.
Years ago, I think I got started with the Lego Mindstorms.
Oh, yeah. That's a great way to do it, too. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and update our 3-pound bracket. We just checked in on this. Take a look at these competitors, our 2 finalists, Monkfish and Caldera. They have had a heck of a journey to get here, and we are in for a heck of a 3-pound final fight in just a little while.
2 destructive, durable robots going up against each other here. Who's going to be able to outlast the other? I think we might be up for a really tough judge's decision, as both of these robots are just going to be hitting each other nonstop for 3 minutes. But let's take a look at the 12-pound bracket, which is going to be coming up next. We've got the Invisible Hand against Minor Threat 5 and Full Court against Carmen, our 2 semifinal fights in 12 pounds.
Yeah, both of these are going to be really exciting fights. Invisible Hand and Minor Threat 5, 2 big heavy hitters, and Full Court and Carmen, a clash of archetypes. We're going to have to see how that goes. In the meantime, let's jump in and meet our next competitors. First up, the Invisible Hand. Aaron Taggart from Winter Haven, Florida. What a town name that is. He's bringing in the Invisible Hand. This thing has been dialed in today. He's going to be fighting an incredible opponent in the form of Luke Grell and his robot, Minor Threat 5. Coming all the way from Duluth, this robot has a pedigree, it has a history, it has the experience behind it. It is nothing to be trifled with. Both of these robots can deal out big hits. It's going to be who can be just a little bit bigger.
We've got sort of a single tooth, thick vertical disc going up against a vertical beater bar here. Quite a matchup. 2 teams coming from quite far away, Duluth, Minnesota, and Winter Haven, Florida. One of them is going to have a bit longer of a trip back, depending on who wins this one, but both teams surely are going to be happy to be punching their ticket to the championship later this year, having made it this far.
Now, we've seen a lot of reliability from both of these robots, not just today in the case of Minor Threat 5, but over the years. What I really have been impressed with both of them, what they really do well is they stay planted. These are stable robots. They can chain hits, one hit after another.
I gotta say, what I'm most surprised by here is we have 2 4-wheel drive vertical spinners going up against each other, and neither one of them has any forks.
Yeah, that is a game changer, but it is also getting towards the end of the day. There may be a reason those forks would be disadvantageous to them at this point in the competition.
Yeah, that floor is not looking as smooth as it did earlier. And with no forks, we're going to be in for a lot of big hits.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of heavy metal hitting a lot of heavy metal.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go. A slow start from both robots.
Both robots spinning up.
Glancing blow, Minor Threat 5 bouncing around the arena.
Invisible Hand sort of waiting to see how this plays out. earlier today, we saw them sort of run out of battery.
Trading blows. That's almost exactly the same effect in reverse.
Ooh.
But Invisible Hand having a hard time self-righting.
Yeah, this is tough because this is a hard spot to be unstuck from.
Very strange. I thought we'd seen Invisible Hand in this position earlier in the day and able to deal with it.
I suppose their weapon must have spun down a little bit more than they would have hoped. There they go.
It is. That's a self-right, but they only get the one. They're going to have to be incredibly careful not to let that happen again.
And it almost happened immediately.
I don't think they're going to be able to be incredibly careful. They're going to have to be incredibly lucky.
And Invisible Hand was incredibly lucky to pull off the judge's decision victory in the last fight, having come to a complete stop at the end and just making it to the bell.
Neither one of these robots sure what to do.
Both robots conservative here.
Wow, the hits that are being taken, and now Invisible Hand's weapon is down.
That last hit was huge. Invisible Hand isn't moving at all.
Minor Threat going for a literal victory lap around its opponent.
They're not going to touch him. They know that they don't have any more unstick requests left, and this is a count out.
That will be the end for Invisible Hand. Minor Threat 5 will be cruising their way into the finals today in the 12-pound class. We're going to find out soon if they're going to be fighting Full Court or Carmen in the finals tonight.
Invisible Hand has been dishing out huge hits today, but having some reliability issues. A few bugs to work out there, coming to a complete stop after the massive shot from Minor Threat 5. Huge impact, sending massive G-forces through all the electronics. I wonder what it was that happened, but just no movement after that.
Yeah, they really, I could just feel the hesitance in both of those drivers as they went in for these hits. The first two exchanges, one went one way, one went the other. You can see the second one right here.
A lot of hesitance from both drivers.
Well, it's with these kind of spinners, tiny little differences can make such an incredible difference in the outcome. A little bit of extra speed, a little bit of extra angle is all it takes.
With no forks, it was all about the weapon geometry, who could get the engagement, who had the reach, who had the tip speed.
Understandable.
We were talking about the finals just a little bit ago. You can see two people who are about to be sparring off in battle, facing off in battle. Glenn Boxel doing the finishing touches, let's say, on Caldera, or a little bit of maintenance.
Do you think Rachel de Guzman was coming over playing a little mind games there with Glenn, or just
maybe a little spy work,
a little spying? Yeah.
Just checking in. We're going to check in with Sam. Maybe he's got a little spy work he can do for us.
Yo, I am here, backed by Team Defective, and they have a match coming up right next with Carmen. Ashley, how's your team gonna do?
We're gonna win.
There you have it. Carmen's gonna win. But we're gonna have to find out if that's real life in just a moment.
Is this real life or is this just fantasy?
I think this is real, Ricky.
Oh, okay, great, perfect. Don't have to
Although with
wake
your
up.
shirt, it's so visually intense. This could be a dream.
I spend a lot of time in dreams, which, is another way of saying I get to spend a lot of time fighting and announcing robots here at NHRL in Norwalk, Connecticut. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is so much fun. This is our last event before the summer break, our 5th event of the year, where all of these robots, all of these builders are trying to punch their ticket and qualify for the World Championships at the end of the year and walk out of here today with a golden dumpster and a stack of cash. Now, let's meet our next competitors coming into the box. Let's go. First up, Coleman Christie and Full Court. An incredible control bot, an incredible competitor, an incredible driver. They're going to be facing off against Michael Shore and Carmen. Carmen coming up from Pennsylvania, representative of Team Defective. This robot hits hard, it drives fast, and it can take a beating. Not to mention its driving is just exquisite.
Let's look at the tail of the tape here. Full court from Coleman Christie coming out of Long Beach, California, is a full body lifter. 20-10 NHRL record. Its skill, smothering. Carmen from Michael Shore out of New Kensington, Pennsylvania, has a massive beater bar on the front of it and is 29-18 here at NHRL. Their skill, total destruction. These two robots couldn't be any more different. Just look at them lined up here. They don't even look like they're in the same weight class.
No, they look completely alien to one another, and that's what I love so much in combat robotics. You get to see wildly different creations go head-to-head and see whose design and whose driving is going to put them on top.
Full court really has been smothering today. No one has had an answer for it. But Carmen, although it is a kinetic spinner, has had very good control all night as well.
You can see the box is locked. We are ready to start up.
The winner of this fight will take on Minor Threat 5 in the championships.
Coleman Christ getting as much of his robot in the corner as he can. Michael Shore sitting pretty with Carmen. I said it before, I'll say it again. This is a robot that looks good even after it's taken a beating.
3, 2, 1.
Fight. Robots
Away
fight.
we go.
Ooh.
Oh, that is a good sign for Carmen. They're able to drive under full court. Not a lot of robots can do that.
Their forks seem to be just long enough.
Their
That
geometry is excellent for taking down an opponent like full court. It's far from perfect, though.
No, full court still able to be very controlling here, but Carmen getting around behind. All it takes is one shot to one of those chassis.
Now these robots have faced off before, and interestingly, it's a 1-1 record. Full court and Carmen have each won against each other in the past. They're going to be looking for this to be a tiebreaker.
Coleman Christie is an amazing driver with full court, but Michael Shore knows what to do with Carmen as well. A great pin here is going to run 10 seconds off the clock.
You hear the
Full
crowd
court
is
coming
getting
right
into
back.
this, doing an excellent job.
A pin of their own, just driving around. Full court as a hat. Full court not having as easy a time as they did in the semifinal, but Carmen also.
Oh, full court almost doing the thing. Of course, they could have gotten out of that spot.
Full court looking a bit like a matador there as Carmen just drove underneath of them.
There's so much springiness in full court. It's so flexible that even the biggest hit from Carmen tends to just kind of bounce it a little bit rather than sending it flying.
Carmen is no longer spinning. Are they being conservative here, just trying not to spin it up while they're stuck? No, the
their
belt.
weapon belt is off.
Belt.
That weapon is down. This has just become full court's game to lose.
And we've seen Carmen with some great control today, but not when they're upside down. This is a nightmare for them as full court now has a minute to show off.
Yeah, if Coleman can keep Carmen upside down, this is very much their match. This is a time when you might wonder if you want to use an unstick to try and get self-righted.
That's an interesting thought, to use an unstick when you're not quite stuck, but not really where you want to be.
You can see the lifting coming in from full court. They're very judicious, very careful with that lifting.
Doesn't look like Carmen is going to use that unstick as we have 25 seconds left in full court.
There it is, look at that!
Oh!
What a move!
Oh, but Carmen back upside down.
Full court became not just a hat, but a lance.
And then they're able to activate their flipper and somehow back in control of things.
Incredible. This is headed to the judges. What a fight.
That was incredible. You've got to think Coleman Christie is feeling confident going into that judge's decision. Michael Shore, a little less so.
Yeah, Michael, though, still looking happy. That was such a fun way to end the match, especially when you've been, trying to paddle uphill for the rest of the fight. Let's go into the replay, see a little of what happened.
That was an incredible fight. Some great hits from Carmen early on the wedge. Unable to get one on the chassis. I say this time and time again, but Coleman is such a good driver, avoiding those chassis shots, getting these pins. And then the end of the fight.
Super, super cool. I'm not going to mince words. I'm just sitting here geeking out as a robot nerd saying that was the coolest move I've seen all day. I love it. I really love it.
It was so unexpected. At the end of the fight, you can see Michael Shore a bit upset. Coleman Christie a bit relieved. And I think that says it all as we go into the judge's decision.
Yeah, we will find out soon enough, but I definitely have my theories. In the meantime, let's go to Richard. He's in the pits. Richard, what do you have for us?
Well, it wouldn't be a primetime pit without a Glenn segment here, and so we've got our 3-pound matchup. It is Caldera versus Monkfish. I mean, talk to me about that matchup.
Oh, this matchup is a scary one for me. Her blade is down low, and she hits hard. So it's going to go 50-50. God knows which ways it's going to end up on this one. But I want it so bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're in the finals and your wife is here. Are you just trying to impress her, or is that coincidence?
I'm trying to impress her. Yeah, this is only her second event, and I'm trying to get her to come out for some more with me.
All right, well, he is in the finals. We love Glenn. Everybody loves Glenn, and he is going to take Caldera against Monkfish. Sam, back to you.
Thank you, Richard. I am in the stands right now and so stoked for this 30-pound final. Megatron, Red Storm, two veterans at the top of their game, two veterans who own their archetypes. I can't wait to see what happens, and, well, it's gonna be hype.
I'm hyped myself. This is going to be fun. Now, Glenn has been here 4 years. He's done incredible work, but I believe this is only his second shot at a dumpster with Caldera. No, third, I believe. This is his third shot. So I'm hyped. In the meantime, we have a judge's decision for you. Let's take a look. Here it is. Full court across the board. No surprises there. They are walking home with a win. That is incredible.
That's going to set up a full court versus Minor Threat 5 championship fight in the 12-pound class.
Coleman Christie has got to be feeling good about that. That is a matchup that, just in terms of the rock, paper, scissors of combat robots, works really well for him. Of course, we're going to have to see if full court has the durability and the driving and the endurance to make good on that. But going into that fight, he's in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, Coleman Christie has just been dominating all day. And after that performance, you got to think he's feeling great going in. But Luke Grell's going to put up a hard fight.
Yeah, he absolutely will. That said, we got a little ways to go before the 12-pound final. Let's take a look at the 30s. This has been a fantastic bracket. Every one of these robots is incredible, and it's led us here. A Megatron and Red Storm final. These are two incredible competitors, talented drivers, well-built machines. Can be more different. These robots are completely dissimilar. Anything could happen. I am like bubbling out of my chair.
I mean, we've got treads versus wheels. We've got overhead spinner versus, the lifter suplex mechanism. Crazy differences in style of armor and fork design. it's going to be an incredible matchup from two veteran competitors in the final tonight.
Yeah, these two men have been working at this for years. They're well respected both at NHRL and in the general field of combat robotics. Their names are known. Their legacies are enshrined in trophies from around the world, honestly. And we're going to find out what they do face-to-face here in just a few minutes.
It's going to be quite incredible. Both these competitors dial in every component of the robot to the nth degree. I've seen Jameson go in the pits just filing the forks down and measuring them basically with like a protractor, getting them to exactly the right angle. Kevin spends so much time designing and iterating on those wheels and the cleat system to get that traction he's so well known for. And he's accelerating with greater than 1G in the arena there. It's nuts.
It is crazy, and it's also going to be really interesting. These Roboteers, they have fought each other before. Kevin, as he eloquently said earlier, he got his butt handed to him the last time he fought Jameson Go, but he's got an all-new strategy. Anything could happen. Without further ado, though, let's jump right into it. Let's meet them. First up, Jameson Go and his legendary robot, Megatron! Megatron's gonna be fighting up against, well, first he's gonna, here's who they're up against. Kevin Milcheski coming into the arena with BrettZone!
The crowd is pumped up for this matchup, Ricky. Both robots loading in, and you can see how different their approaches are to weapon, drive, ground game. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Megatron, coming out of Cambridge, Massachusetts, with driver Jameson Go, is the classic definition of a hammer saw. 40-8 NHRL record and two-time world champion. Red Storm out of Seattle, Washington, with driver Kevin Milcheski, is a lifter in a 17-6 record. It's relentless with its grappling and ability to suplex. Non-stop aggression from both these drivers when they want it, but Kevin is insane with his driving and speed. If anyone can keep up with it, it's Jameson Go. This is going to be fun.
This is going to be fun, but let me tell you something. I'm catching out of the corner of my eye right now. Jameson Go, Megatron, not running so hot. That robot's having a hard time making its way to its corner.
He doesn't look happy, and I think they're going to pull it. Are they going to pull it back to the door for a second here? You do get a little bit of time if you're not happy with how the robot is driving out to do some tweaks. I mean, you can't swap any parts, so you can power cycle it.
Yeah, you know, if you're having fits, you can futz, but you can't do much more.
No. Sometimes it can be, you know, just a controller acting up on startup. It doesn't get the right signal. It doesn't neutral, so it doesn't turn on. Power cycling can help those types of issues. You don't see this a lot with Jameson Go built robots.
No, I will point out, though, this is a relatively new iteration of Megatron. This robot has had a major redesign just a few events ago.
Yep.
Does not have a lot of miles on the clock, so he very well could still be working out new robot design bugs and jitters.
I was speaking to Kevin in the pits. He said he showed up yesterday, just took the robot out of the storage unit, and went with it for this competition. So no changes on Red Storm since the last time we've seen it here in Norwalk. But Megatron is always evolving, always changing. With that, you can sometimes get new bugs. Let's see, he doesn't look super happy.
No, we'll have to see.
He won't get another shot to power cycle it here.
Oh, interesting. That robot's still definitely not driving well. What has happened? We've seen him have trouble with these tank treads earlier in the day.
He's got no side of drive. Is he gonna forfeit this instead of continuing?
I don't know.
If he does, that would be the second time he's forfeit a golden dumpster match here at NHRL.
Like it's already ready to go.
Yeah, we ran it every time.
We didn't twitch test it though.
But it drove.
Interesting. It sounds like they might have a second robot waiting in the wings. I don't know if they're allowed to swap that in at this point.
Would be unorthodox and not traditionally within the rules.
They may have been able to get away with it if they had a second builder go grab it and instead of twitch testing it had just subbed it in immediately.
I mean, well, technically you're not supposed to do that. Once you bring it downstairs, that's the one you're supposed to go with.
You know, you've got a point there too. I don't know.
I mean, this is a tense situation. Obviously, you all want to see the final fight go on. But
you could hear Kevin say something to the effect of he's up for pretty much anything, but the rules are also rules.
I'll tell you what, I would go into a fight with one side of drive and just see what happens if it were me. But
it sounds like he is asking about whether or not he can run upstairs and grab a spare. I assume he means a spare robot. That is incredibly unorthodox.
Yeah.
It is ready to go, and I suppose if there's no substantive change in design or layout or configuration, that it's not skirting the intent of the rule. But wow.
A little bit of drama here before the 30-pound final, as I have never seen this happen.
No, and of course this, you said it yourself, we've got a little bit of leeway when a competitor wants to play ball. You know, if Kevin's saying, I would like this to happen, we tend to try to be amenable to it here at NHRL, but this is still highly unusual.
Yeah, and it's not like Megatron was unable to move. It's not like it was completely dead. It had enough motion.
That's true. It could have started this fight.
We saw Jameson win their last fight on half drive.
It's absolutely possible. And up against anyone other than Kevin Milcheski, it may have even been probable.
Kevin is one of the best drivers in the sport.
Let's send it to Sam. Maybe he's got some more information for us.
J-Mo, what's going on?
So the cage was locked, and we drove the roll to the corners. Megatron got halfway, and then one of the drive sides stopped working. Everything else is working perfectly fine. You know, you do the most that we can to make sure that we're absolutely ready for the fight, which includes a twitch test upstairs in the test cages that NHRL has. So we passed all the twitch tests, everything works, but put it down to the cage. It's really a mystery.
And so right now, I believe Kevin said it's cool if you grab your other copy of Megatron. Is that what's happening?
Yes, we had 2 copies ready to go. Usually for the finals, you're just like, oh, I could pack it up, and it's you don't expect to have that fight because you're like, I need one for the next fight, and that's it. But luckily, I put the batteries in the other one, and it was ready to go as of basically the last fight with Phenomenon with the replacement treads. So it can go in again, and definitely thank you to Kevin for the sportsmanship to allow this to happen. I think he wants a good fight. He wants to beat me in a fight. So
that makes sense. All right, well, looks like the new Megatron is down and ready to go. Good luck to everyone, and thank you to Kevin, the sportsman.
Highly unorthodox situation here, but Kevin wants to fight a 100% effective Megatron. Interesting to hear that it did work and then died halfway to the corner.
Well, we've seen that a few times today with these treads locking up just suddenly during the middle of a fight or the middle of a motion. We haven't seen it yet where it locks up in the middle of moving to its starting corner.
Treads could be a mixed bag. I don't know if that was tread issue or something else, but Jamison lucks out here as Kevin is okay with him swapping the robot for possibly the first time in NHRL history.
Yeah, certainly the first time in many years. And since the codification of our current rule set,
and this is going to be a treat for us, if nothing else. 200% robots going against each other is going to be a lot more fun to watch.
3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go. Slow start from Megatron as well. Quick start from Red Storm as expected. Nice boop on the head from Megatron, doing their best.
Pin here, wow.
And the weapon assembly on the front of Red Storm is already deflecting big hits from that spinner on Megatron.
Oh! This is not good.
Oh, that is a tough hit. That weapon assembly starting to get bent inward.
But Red Storm is still moving. He's got to be careful.
There's a bit of armor taken off the top.
You can't keep giving Megatron this many shots.
Oh, I see the wheels, or the drive side on Megatron starting to slow down again. Kevin needs to capitalize on this.
And
get his lift ins.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what he needs to do.
Got to be careful going front on.
Big pieces going flying. Some of the armor from Red Storm being dislodged. A big hit.
Oh, Kevin is exposing the backside.
But he's deflecting that weapon using his forks. Or at least trying to.
And I don't think the weapon on Megatron is working after that last engagement.
No,
at least it's not spinning.
That's a lot of metal being fed into the mouth of Megatron.
The crowd is loving it as Red Storm pins the two-time world champion against the wall with 1 minute and 16 seconds left in this fight.
Incredible driving, but I'm starting to see intermittent drive issues on Red Storm.
Both robots a little worse for wear here.
A little punch drunk, I'd say. Jamison swinging and missing with his hammer saw, but that is up to speed again. One good hit is all it would take.
Oh, slowing down, intermittent weapon on Megatron, intermittent drive on both robots.
You can see that armor package on the side of Red Storm holding on for dear life.
Kevin's fork so low, they're getting stuck in some of the divots of the floor here. It's the last fight in the 30-pound class. Oh, this cannot line up the hits.
No, it's so tough. The drive on Red Storm works and then cuts out just as it makes its approach. You don't want to take a hard right turn just before you hit your opponent.
Another pin to close this out with 15 seconds left, trying to get the suplex in.
There it goes. They're going to be going to the judges for your finals. Your June finals will be decided by a judge's decision. Incredible, incredible. Jamison looking unsure. Kevin looking unsure. Both of these competitors left it all on the table. They did their best. It's in the judges' hands now. What a fight.
If I were a judge, I would be so angry right now having to make a decision here. This is incredible. Look at these replays. Kevin, so many pins. But Jamison, so many hits. Armor littering the arena, and somehow Red Storm still operable at the end of the fight.
Well, go figure. Kevin said he was going into this match, and this time he wasn't going to leave his armor at home. I think it paid off for him.
I think that configuration paid off. I think both these robots put on a tremendous fight. seeing Megatron at 100% going up against 100% of Red Storm at the beginning. They're not ending that fight at 100%, I'll tell you that much.
No, not at all. Both of these robots came out looking like boxers after one too many rounds, but both of them still operational. Of course, the robots, I'm looking now, are still completely intertwined in the arena.
Should we just do another coin flip to see who wins?
It's almost at that point. Our judges, though, they're going to go through the rubric. We're going to find out what the official word is. What a fight. What a fight.
I'm kind of speechless here.
Yeah, listen, I was skeptical. That's a highly unusual way to start that fight. We don't usually see that. In fact, I don't know if we've ever seen a robot switched out that late in the game, but got to say, I'm happy with the fight that it gave us.
The fight that we got out of that was worth a little bit of drama at the start because that was incredible. Back and forth drivers battle. Both robots able to show off the benefits of their designs and their configurations, the driving skill of both of them, the hits that Megatron was delivering, and the way that Red Storm was able to bounce back and get pin after pin.
I really like that point you made. Both of these robots showed up, and they did exactly what they were designed to do. Both of them put on a great show. You couldn't have asked any more out of either of these designs.
It was just incredible. Yeah. How many times can I say incredible in one fight?
At least 3 more times.
Yes.
No, let's let us
still
count
separating
the ways,
them.
right? No, they're together for the rest of the night. That's they've got a room later.
Yeah.
I think what is so fun here about this particular fight is the driving was great. The robot designs were not only great, but on display. They were functioning the way that they were supposed to function.
Yeah.
And the matchup of these two robot designs created really fun dynamics. Okay, so since this went to the judges, part of what happens is you get a functionality test. You show what on your robot still works, what doesn't.
Oh.
And so the judges are going to be looking for how much these two robots move and how much they don't.
It took so long to unstick the robots. I'd be almost afraid my receiver or transmitter would have turned off from inactivity.
It's a valid concern.
Finally getting those robots out of the arena. The judges are going to have a lot to think about. Functional damage counts for more than cosmetic damage, armor damage. Megatron certainly coming out of the arena looking a lot better, but functionally having issues. You can see that right side tread not quite where it's supposed to be.
And you can see them, they are turning off their weapons. You use little screwdrivers usually to turn on and off switches that are hidden inside your robot. You also install your weapon locks to make sure that your robot's weapon doesn't suddenly activate and go flying even if your switch fails. So that's an important part of our safety process. That's what you see them doing cage side.
You can see Kevin there moving his robot saying it's hot. The robot building up a lot of heat during that fight, all that drive and weapon power.
It sounds like the judges are having a really tough time. They have not delivered any judges' decisions yet. They're going through, still reviewing footage, trying to figure out how to judge this match.
No votes are in yet. 3 judges. You have to win 2 of the judges' scorecards to take home that golden dumpster.
See, those are some excited competitors. Everybody likes being on the big screen. I mean, how good was that fight?
I think the crowd liked it. Yeah, you know, Megatron recently switching to treads, giving Jameson even better maneuverability than in the past with the wheels, but they have had some reliability issues.
Absolutely have.
As the floor gets worn out, huge advantage. Is it worth it? decisions.
Wow. We are getting word that none of the judges' votes are in. This is a very long period of review. You don't usually see this happen. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they're having a harder time as we are.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's a really close back and forth fight. They have all the tape to look at, and I'd be scouring that for ways to pull apart who's the victor.
Moreover, they had a really good close-up view of that last-minute functionality test. I'm sure that's playing a major part in their decision right now. But we will have to wait and see. Let's go take one more look, see what happened to this match. We can see some of the big hits, some of the action.
Huge hits, sparks flying, but great pins and control.
You can see great control from Red Storm, pushing their opponent into the arena walls, holding them there, lifting bits at a time.
Even as their armor panels are flailing around and their forks are bent, Kevin still able to show control and aggression as the fight came to an end. Now, that was a longer than 10-second kind of pin lift there at the end.
Let's take a look at some of this damage. Of course, you are getting the most dramatic view here of Red Storm. That side armor package fractured right at the weld. You can even see the grain of the weld on the corner. That is certainly the biggest epicenter of damage. 2 votes are in, I'm being told.
One more to go. While we're looking at the shot, some great details of the designs in these robots. You can see the dual articulated forks, the front of Megatron, with that large wedgelet riding on the ground, the tread sticking out the back for all that traction, and the cleat wheels of Red Storm in the foreground.
Completely different approach to design. Both of those designs working incredibly well. Both competitors looking nervous, but you know, trading game day secrets, it sounds like.
I am a physical and emotional wreck as I wait for judges' decisions as a competitor. It is really hard to stand there and not know what happened.
Yeah.
Both of them seem like it's any other day.
Yeah, they're calm, cool. They're not calm, cool, and collected. They're, what's that line? I want to say it's from Watchmen, where it's like, you know, you didn't notice because you thought he was all stoic, but to me, he might as well have been crying. I think that's a little bit of what we have going on. Well, no, maybe I'm
I don't
wrong.
know what's
I think they're
now.
spanking each other now. I was entirely wrong.
It's that time of the night, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I did say that they've got a room together later at this point.
I thought that was the robots.
Well, where one goes, the other follows.
They're both having fun. Whoever wins this, I think they're both going to be smiling.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when it comes down to it, Kevin could have walked away with a fairly easy victory here. Yeah. He asked for the fight that he wanted. And I know Jameson, he's a person who also wants the best fight that can be put on. He's going to be pleased with whatever outcome comes out of this because he knows the fight went the way it should have went.
I'm hearing we might have a decision. We have a judge's decision. Here it is. Here it comes.
Red Storm! Taking all the unanimous victory! 10, 10, and 11. Absolutely nailing the landing.
Kevin wanted to take on Megatron at 100%, and he beat Megatron at 100% to take home that golden dumpster. No questions.
No asterisk behind that win. Wow!
Listen to the crowd.
I don't know if you can hear this at home. They are going nuts in here. I think the crowd wanted that. I think that's good for the soul of this crowd. Let's go ahead and go to Sam. Sam.
Kevin,
Amazing sportsmanship, amazing match. What went through your head when you saw Megatron not able to make it to their corner?
You know, I just want to have a good fight. So before I even knew what they were trying to do, I said, hey, he's got a second robot. Get it down here. Let's have a good fight. And god dang, that was a good fight.
And so what was the key to your victory in that fight?
Just the control, right? I haven't seen the judges score, but it's a control robot. So, you know, Red Storm can take a punch, apparently a lot of punches, but yeah, just it didn't die. Barely, but didn't die.
You thought you won at the end, though?
I thought Jameson might have had that one. I didn't know who won. That was a very, very close fight.
All right, Kevin, well, there's one thing left to do. Hold it high.
That is so much joy, so much wholesome joy to make that kind of concession to your opponent and say, you know what, I'm going to give you every chance in the world to put on the absolute best fight you can, and then to still take home the win. That has to feel incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we said it while they were standing there waiting for the judge's decision. No matter what happened, they'd both be smiling, but Kevin smiling a bit more on the winning end of that golden dumpster. Earned it, no asterisk, no questions. You want to fix your robot, fix it, I'll beat you anyway. He did it. Wow.
Yeah. Congratulations, Kevin. Very well earned. I'm sure you've got a wonderful place picked out for that golden dumpster. Don't forget to pick up your check on the way out. But right now, let's head back to the 3-pounders. The action's not done, folks. Let's jump into the bracket. You can see how our 2 finalists got here. We're going to have Monkfish going up against Caldera. They had a long, hard, violent journey to get here, and there's only one fight left.
Monkfish just coming off
and
a victory
Rachel
over
de
Jelly
Guzman.
Baby.
Let's get them introduced. Here we go. First up, Monkfish! Rachel de Guzman looking pleased as punch. With that lovely shade of blue, aquatic sea creature killer in the form of Monkfish. This 3-pound terror actually weighs in at 4.5 pounds due to its shuffling architecture. And they will be taking on Caldera!
Glenn Boxall out of Marlboro, Mass. and Caldera have been tearing up the competition all day long.
Both of these robots armed with nasty horizontal spinners. Both of them incredibly durable. Let's talk about them. We've got Monkfish, Rachel de Guzman coming all the way from Ann Arbor, Michigan. This horizontal spinner just keeps going. A 25-5 record and non-stop chaos in the box. Taking on Glenn Boxall, an absolutely gentlemanly but terrifying opponent with Caldera. Coming from Marlboro, Mass., another horizontal spinner with a staggering 86-43 record. His experience and class has gotten him this far. Let's see if it can get him a win tonight.
These 2 robots don't always hit the hardest, but they are durable and they hit non-stop. We're heading over to Cage 2 to see who can win the final engagement.
It has been years since Glenn or at least over a year since Glenn has taken home a dumpster. He wants another one. He's hungry for it. He's been saying all day that he is just eye of the tiger, going for the win. And Rachel de Guzman stands in his way.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing is, Glenn has never won in Norwalk. He won a dumpster at RIT.
That's a whole different ball game. Wow, a big hit with Caldera going flying just a little more than Monkfish. right off the bat, I think this is going to be an uphill battle for Caldera. They're on their heels. You don't usually see that in the first 15 seconds.
Running away a little bit here. Oh! Oh! Bits of the shuffler system are coming off of Monkfish. Monkfish has lost a side of drive. This is huge.
This is tremendous. Monkfish is an incredibly reliable robot. To have a failure this early is unheard of. But then again, to have Caldera looking a little sheepish in its attacks is unheard of.
Monkfish just sort of driving around in circles now, unable to do much. Caldera just needs to hit that second shuffler pod. Oh no!
Listen, Monkfish drives pretty darn good for having no wheels and only one set of shufflers. You are right, Caldera's weapon is down.
Oh, this changes everything. This is going to be very difficult for Caldera to get a knockout without the weapon. Monkfish's weapon is still spinning.
Yeah, it's not spinning well, but it is definitely still hitting.
Or is it just stuck? No.
No,
Yeah,
it's
there it
spinning
goes.
for sure.
So
but
fast as
Caldera's
blur.
back up and running.
Oh, we're back. We're back, Ricky.
We were never really gone, Adam.
Oh! Oh!
For a moment, I thought Caldera had it.
Had the hit on the shuffler, but it came back to life.
These shufflers are losing bits and pieces faster than we have ever seen.
Monkfish has to show something if Caldera can keep working, but if Caldera stops again, it's anyone's game. 1 minute left. Who is going to leave a mark? Can anyone win this outright? Debris littering the arena. Another hit on the shufflers by Caldera, but they still go. Caldera getting the shots. Monkfish proving more durable on this side.
Yet so cautious in driving.
They got to be careful with Monkfish's weapon spun up to full speed.
Yeah, and Monkfish's weapon hits hard. One false move and your battery is split in half. Your robot's split in half.
Just sneaking around the shufflers there and not getting the hit. It's almost like the shufflers are repelling Caldera at this point. 10 seconds left. Maybe one more shot.
Yeah, Monkfish getting cut down to size, but still able to move, still able to spin.
Wow.
What a fight. Glenn is looking pumped.
Glenn is excited. But this is going to the judges. Glenn is going to end this fight with full function. Monkfish is going to be down a side of drive. But there was a good 30 seconds or more there where Glenn's weapon was not working.
That is going to play a big factor in the judge's decision. But honestly, there is a lot to take in here.
I think Glenn thinks he won.
I think so too. He certainly stands a good chance. I'd put money in his favor. I just don't know the odds.
I'm definitely leaning that way. You can see the reaction on Rachel's face is a little less jubilant. Sometimes the driver's reaction tells you all you need to know.
Let's go right into the replays.
You can
see these big hits here early, taking off pieces of the drive system.
And then it just jammed up. At that point, I thought that would be the fight, but Caldera's weapon cut out.
Really gave a path back to victory for Monkfish, but they weren't able to deliver a kill shot before the weapon came back for Caldera.
Couldn't take advantage of the opportunity when they had it. You need to take advantage of the opportunities. That could be the difference.
Well, we'll be finding out real soon. We're waiting for that decision, but you can see two highly anticipatory. The judge's decision is here. This just in. Here it comes. Caldera! A unanimous decision, a decisive decision, a big win for Glenn Boxall, taking home his first win with Caldera in this building. Brian, his son, on the phone, congratulating, sharing in the joy, sharing in the victory. This is a family affair here on Caldera.
And Glenn did it the hard way, cutting through a fully booked field of 3-pounders to come home with a golden dumpster. That is impressive.
Really, really impressive. That has got to feel tremendous for Glenn.
I mean, I'm happy for him. He looked happy. It's contagious
I've
happiness.
got secondhand joy over here. I'm fanning myself.
That was a wild fight.
Look, he's just high-fiving groups of children.
Any day that you could end by just walking into a crowd and high-fiving is a good day. Let's throw it over to Sam.
Oh my goodness, Glenn Boxall, what did it take to get to this point?
It has taken a lot of hard work. Some awesome bots out there today. Oh my God, I have never had a run like the last 4 fights that we just went through. Every one of them was just total destruction, chaos, and everything else. Oh, it was awesome.
And Glenn, what does it mean to finally get that House of Havoc dumpster?
I have been wanting this so bad for a long time, and I finally got one!
Well, Glenn, here it is. This is yours!
Talk about heartwarming. Let's go to Richard. Richard, take it away.
Oh, man. Such beautiful moments. It wouldn't be prime time without some emotion. But as you can see, it's that bittersweet time. The pits are emptying out. Everybody's downstairs for the big grand finale. You guys, we have seen some amazing fights, some epic stories, and a culmination with Everybody Loves Glenn just now. And now we're going to see one final fight. It's been a pleasure up here in the pits. We'll send it back to you guys.
We got one more for you. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Is the crowd ready for this? It's the 12-pound final.
Let's do it!
But first, let's look at the bracket.
Oh, okay.
We've got Minor Threat 5 going up against Full Court.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of date here, but Full Court is going to be their opponent. Full Court has been a real thorn in the side of so many robots.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm still just kind of feeling, I got the vapors from that Glenn Boxall moment. So well earned, he worked so hard for that.
Contagious happiness in the entire bowl from that moment as Glenn Boxall finally wins a golden dumpster here in Norwalk.
Absolutely incredible. Congratulations, Glenn. You really did earn it. Tell you what, let's pivot to the 12-pound. We're going to take a look at the bracket right now. Here's how they got there. Working their way through the day, Minor Threat 5 has had some amazing fights. They're going to be facing off against Full Court, who took out Carmen and Buzzkill in the semi and quarterfinals. These are two very different robots from two very good drivers. Anything could happen. Let's go ahead and meet our first fighter now. Minor Threat 5! Luke Grell coming in from Duluth. This is a veteran robot with an incredible driving and build pedigree. I am so excited to see it. They're going to be facing up against
Full Court! Coleman Christie coming out of Long Beach, California with the longest robot we've seen here tonight.
This is a control robot extraordinaire. Coleman Christie has been building these machines for a while. Probably no one better at this wide robot design. It has been unstoppable today. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Minor Threat 5 from Luke Grell, again coming all the way in from Duluth. This is a vertical spinner that has years of experience behind it, a 23-10 record, and its secret, it's pretty obvious, absolute destruction. Fighting against Coleman Christie and his creation, Full Court. Coming all the way from Long Beach, California with a full body lifter, wider than anything else here at NHRL, a 21-10 record, and an absolutely smothering driving style that keeps his opponents on the heels and out of the winner's circle.
This is going to be quite the fight. We're going to look at these two robots, and I'm telling you, they both weigh 12 pounds.
Isn't that wild? Look at, you would think these are completely different. They are the exact same weight. That is stunning.
Full Court made out of mostly 3D printed plastic materials going up against Minor Threat 5, mostly made out of metal. That might seem like an easy win for Minor Threat 5, but Full Court has been dominating the competition.
Look at this. First off, you can see the lifters on display from Full Court. Let's make no mistake, they can flip a bot over no problem and put their opponent in some really bad positions, but Minor Threat 5 has shown up with a special set of attachments. Look at those tongs on the front of the robot.
Will they work?
Fight, robots,
Away
fight.
we go, a cautious approach from Full Court. Minor Threat 5 getting shoved into the wall immediately.
But able to get under Full Court a bit.
Those spatulas seem effective, but he has to go dead on his opponent to make them work.
Yes. Oh, and a chassis hit on Full Court.
We haven't seen a lot of those today.
Ooh. Now those spatulas seem to have backfired as Minor Threat 5 is quite stuck.
No, they'll work their way out after they chew a hole in our arena floor.
I'm not so sure, Ricky.
It might be tough. We'll see.
Oh, they're going to have to request an unstick as they're getting counted out.
Yeah,
Here
an
it
unstick
comes.
is incoming. They are going to get freed. Ooh, a swing and a miss from Flo.
Yes, of course, an unstick request is not guaranteed, as Flo is sort of driving over those spatulas.
Yeah, that's a really interesting problem we haven't seen with previous iterations of Minor Threat 5. There it goes.
There they go.
Freed again, and then immediately put into the same spot.
Oh.
Minor Threat 5 is going to do its best to free itself, but this is going to be tough. We just saw it try and fail.
The weapon is pushing it further up the wall. Can they reverse it? It's acting like a wheel, just driving themselves up further. The count out is happening. This is going to be it.
This is going to be it. This could very well be it. Your 12-pound winner by knockout, Full Court. Coleman Christie, I don't know if he's as pleased as he wanted to be with that win.
I've never seen someone so neutral with a dominant victory.
Coleman is a calm man. He is definitely keeps his emotions close to the chest, but I think he really wanted to see a little more action in that fight. Still, you can't fault him for his skill, his build quality. That was incredibly well executed.
Minor Threat 5 looked like they had some good decision making with those spatulas, able to get under. Their first chassis hit on full court we'd seen all night, but then, you know, the downside of those types of one-off configurations is you don't know how they're going to work out, and they get stuck against the wall.
Yeah, there was a tremendous amount of potential here. Let's take a look at it. You can see that was what full court needed to do, coming in and hitting the side of minor threat 5, but those wedges, when they worked, they really worked. However, once that robot was stuck up on a wall, once minor threat 5 was put in this compromising position, it was at the mercy of the house bot, and you only get one on stick.
And once full court knew their weakness, you had to think it was going to happen again, but it happened really quickly.
Really precise positioning by Coleman, keeping their opponent at bay, moving back just enough for the referees to say, yes, you have released your engagement, you can reset. Very precise driving. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's not easy to drive a robot like full court, and the only reason people think it is easy is because Coleman Christie is so good at driving full court.
Yeah. Let's go to Sam. Sam, take it away.
All right, Coleman Christie, what did it take to win that dumpster again?
A pretty unique robot. A lot of time spent, you know, dialing in these fork configurations and building a lifter that can flip these other robots over.
Well, you got one more thing to lift, and here it is.
Wow. Coleman earned that victory, earned that golden dumpster. Wow.
Bravo. Well, folks, that's our that's our June 2025 event. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ricky Willems. This is Adam Wrigley. We've got Sam Hansen. We've got such an incredible crew here, an incredible group of people, an incredible group of builders. We're so thankful we get to do this with you every year, every month. Please join us next time. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you all.